being in the server, Jones. All right, we're live. Oh, all right. Hopefully everything's working. You guys probably can't. They won't be able to hear you now. They should be able to hear you.
Well, I'm gonna see if I can open the stream on.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
it
gonna
works.
message someone. What up, Remy?
Oh, gotta like it, of course.
Oh, someone's already talking to you, little gal.
Oh my god. That's it. I'm leaving the stream. It's over. I'm done. Sorry. Goodbye.
It's Jover.
It's Jover.
It's Josh.
Oh, it's Josh. Hey, Josh. What's up? It's funny. I did a stream at Gettysburg on the reenacting account. I want to do that at AHEC again. That was pretty fun. It was like a spontaneous spur of the moment stream thing.
Yeah, that was cool. I watched it.
Oh, did you watch that? I didn't even realize.
Yeah, and you walking around the camp?
Yeah, yeah. I gotta do that at AHEC.
Yeah, I was chilling watching it, wondering why I wasn't there because I'm an idiot.
Ah, it's all right.
Kind of
Should
glad I
shoot
didn't
for
go because you
MTA.
guys all got sick. So
Yeah, Gettysburg was rough. If you shoot for anything, definitely try for MTA. It's a much better event.
hey, thanks, Remy. Um, yeah, we should try to get GI Jones here to do 82nd Grenada.
It'll happen one way or another.
I mean,
Trust me.
I could, but I still need a lot more stuff to feel even close. I guess is the
Yeah,
best way to put it. Like, I need to put a lot more into it, and I need
sure.
to buy more stuff. Which at the moment, I'm kind of having a slight money situation. I'm trying to save for a vacation. So,
You know what?
Vacation?
I'll
You don't
just
got
get
time
back
for
in.
vacation. You gotta buy more
well,
surf.
well, I'm actually thinking about offloading some of my stuff. To be honest with you,
No, we don't
so
offload. We
until
just
recently,
increase.
that is true. But recently, I've kind of brought back the reenacting Instagram back from the dead after my
Yeah, I
month.
saw that.
So I'm starting to get more time back on my hands. I was in EMR school and all that junk. So I was just trying to get through that 2.5 months of torture. So got my medical license and all that now. So
I know. I was happy to see you
certified take.
start to do stuff again.
Oh, nice. My
Yeah,
profile updated.
which I've been preoccupied with some of the other hobbies as well here recently. But that's more of a meditational kind of thing, I guess, or not meditational, but
Relaxing.
it's relaxing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
relaxing till I
No,
break something.
I like the other Instagram you're doing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like doing the customs. It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
just glad
so
that you're getting back into the Mo surf stuff. As you do good stuff.
yeah, me too. I've had a lot of people message me recently. There's been a few that's checked in, like make sure I'm still alive. I guess, like, yeah, I'm alive. I'm just doing other stuff, and some asking me, am I back from the dead? Yeah, we're getting there slowly. You know how it is. We already talked about this. You just get burnt out. Just, you just have to step back for a while.
You're
So,
telling me. I've been burnt out too. That's why I haven't done anything. It's
Bro,
been
who
bad.
hasn't, honestly? Like you spend
well,
enough time in this hobby and eventually you're just gonna get like back in October, man, I was ready to sell everything and leave, I swear.
it's like it just takes like one day you wake up and you're like, I mean, am I doing this because I enjoy, is it fun to me anymore? Or am I just doing it for whatever else reason? Like, that's kind of where I was at. I just got up one day and I was like, I don't really have any interest in this stuff right now. Like, I don't want to make myself do it, so that's why I don't. Plus, I was just a lot
The
of work
biggest problem
related.
is the biggest problem is that once you start getting rid of your stuff, you know that you're not gonna get it back for the value that you bought it for.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
definitely
like, yeah, it's like this eternal kind of Yeah, yeah, and Jake is a living example of this, sitting in front of his expansive collection here.
That's a
But
fraction of it.
damn, I never wanna do this again. You look at your stuff, it's like, oh, but I bought this for a fourth of what it's worth, and so if I sell it, I'm never gonna get it back. But yeah,
It's
No,
you're
that
always in between. Like, sorry, Jack, I didn't mean to cut you
no, you're
off.
good. You're good. You go. You go.
So all I was gonna say is, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always between having too much stuff or not having having enough.
Oh, it's always not enough for me.
we know.
Yeah, it's an addiction. I don't
I've
like
I've I've reached the point where I have everything like small that I need, and so I made myself a little shopping list the other day just to see what I want. And everything on that shopping list is like $1,000 plus. It's like M47 Dragon, Prick 77, M16A2 clone. It's like all the really, really expensive stuff that I know I'm not gonna
Yeah,
have for either a really long time or just not at all.
I was going to say
Yeah,
Jake has
hey, yeah,
all the cool toys.
beautiful. Well, it doesn't help that my unit executive officer hoards all of the M47 Dragons.
you got the steel one. The only thing you know what does suck about that dragon? No sling.
Really,
It,
yeah, that happens sometimes.
and you can't.
That
That's
sucks.
not something I'm gonna go find. But
No.
all right. Yeah, and it's funny. You're totally right about like sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll offload some stuff so I don't have because I'm getting to the point where the basement I built to house everything is now becoming full. And
Already.
yeah, yeah, it's too much. Well, it's because the body armor is hard to the store. Helmets are hard to store. I mean,
Oh
I have
god.
like
Yeah,
every
tell me about
CBC
it.
helmet now, so it starts to become
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I have that issue with the which I don't have a lot of party armor, but I have a few sets. I even it's to the point like I still even have my old set from when I was at the sheriff's department that I just have crammed under the bed in my spare bedroom because I have nowhere else to put it.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason why I made the basement in the first place, renovated it, was because my office upstairs was getting it was too small, and the fiance wanted me to kind of you know make
Move it somewhere
room
else.
and not be quite right there, so it was a compromise to take over the basement, but yeah.
I guess I'm lucky.
Regarding,
No, go ahead.
huh? I was just gonna say Remy in the stream chat said the SA16A2 is pretty sick if I've heard of it. I have heard of it. I get a discount on it from work. And I'm
Wait, are you
definitely
back at
eyeing that.
working at
I work guns again.
Cabela's?
Yeah, I work as a used gun specialist officially, so I appraise, sell, and buy used firearms.
Interesting.
It's interesting for sure. You get like the other day, this guy brought in this this old revolver, and I spent like 6 hours researching the thing, um, because I was bored and I didn't have anything else going on at work, and I found out it's like some really weird German clone of an American Smith& and Wesson Model 3. And my point is, it's a very funny job. Um, but yes, I do get discounts on Springfield through that, so that's probably something I'm interested in. Nothing on PSA, unfortunately, because we cut ties with PSA. People
Oh,
kept trying to order NFA items to our store, and we don't deal in NFA.
I can't own any of that stuff, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, my condolences. Have you
yeah.
considered perhaps not living in Massachusetts?
I have. The plan is to move in a year, so
Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking to move in about a year too, which is once again a problem when it comes to like space because I'm not moving into a larger space.
you guys can always come to Tennessee. It's not such a bad
No,
place.
see, it's funny because I do want to go down to Tennessee for the big Tennessee Maneuvers event they have down there.
Yes,
That looked like a
I didn't go,
freaking blast, dude.
I didn't go to the one this year. All of the big events this year I've been scheduled to work, and it's a pain in the back trying to switch like shifts with people, so I can never get off.
Yeah, since early war outside of 80s and stuff like that, my thing is really early war, and so being able to do Tennessee Maneuvers where you're running around in the middle of a town with a rifle will be cool as hell.
Yes,
I've
yeah, that's
I've
how.
always, huh?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, go ahead.
all I was just gonna say is, yeah, the 29th group, they do a really good job with that. Which my unit, they're really more focused with like the 1943 era of the maneuvers.
Well, something I've always wanted to do is the maneuver umpires. It's like the officers with just the umpire armband are like, okay, you're dead, you're wounded, you're out of, like that kind of thing. I was watching a video, a guy was doing a video from the last Tennessee Maneuvers event, and the umpire just came by with a flag screaming at him like, "You're wounded, you're wounded."
Yeah, yeah,
Dumbest
that's
thing. It's great.
yeah, it's pretty stupid because
Well,
it's
I, I
yeah.
I love it because they're pictures of like back in 1941 during the Carolina maneuvers of just like a truck with a plywood board on it that says tank or a piece of pipe shoved into a plywood board that says anti-tank gun on it.
I have a story for you. So last year, the 2023 uh, uh, iteration, I guess, I was the blue team. We were blue team, and so we were the ones advancing. Red team was defending. So had somebody, and I think it was like an M2 scout car or something like that, and that's what we had to push forward. And I mean, we were getting hot and heavy in the spell. They got to the point everybody was running out of ammos. Can't talk today. People running out of ammo, so the our lieutenant he just had us yelling "bang" every time we were shooting. Right, so that's I was just screaming "bang, bang, bang, bang" like the entire time. It was great. By
Would
the
you
end of it,
like
Drill
rack the bolt
army.
too?
yes.
That's
So,
hilarious.
yeah, clicking a bang. That's all I was doing the whole time. It was great.
That's
I mean,
literally
hey,
what we
that's
did in the drill
probably
army.
accurate to the time period.
We still do that.
And you even had the guy like for grenades. You had guys with the bags of flour. Throwing those too. So,
We used
interesting.
to we used to run around saying bang and pew.
Well, in Louisiana maneuvers, it was such a cluster that like the majority of deaths were from drowning or lightning strikes.
That's not surprising at all.
Like, because they were trying to ford rivers, in cavalry, and they would just drown. It's just, yeah, it
Yeah,
was ridiculous. The maneuvers were it's such a wild time to research and such a wild impression to do because it's everything about it is just so insane.
how did I allow this
Yeah,
stream to become the maneuvers conversation?
Hey, you want to redirect it? You be my guest.
Nah, I'm just messing with you. It's just funny every time I get on with you, you're like the maneuvers, the maneuvers.
I
well,
love pre-war American aesthetics.
I was about to say
Rah.
that's kind of made a resurgence. Like that's been pretty popular. I've seen lately. A lot of people are doing like either pre-war or a lot of early war stuff.
Yeah, because people realize that with the price of all the late war things, it's more fun to do early war where you you need like half the kit because you weren't equipped well to begin with. And it's a cool aesthetic. It's coming back.
Yeah, for me, I've always just been drawn to like mid to late war. That's always been my thing because I didn't have a lot of the early war stuff, so I couldn't really I couldn't do early war. I didn't have the stuff, so that's kind of
Well,
where I was at on.
I wouldn't have done it if my friend didn't drag me into it. So
Yeah, it always takes a. Sometimes it just takes a push to do
yeah.
something.
Yeah, and that push costs a lot of money.
Oh yeah, no one said it was cheap.
This is why I don't reenact. I'm too busy spending money on nonsense.
Aren't we all?
Although I haven't been spending money. That's been the other thing. I've specifically not been buying things. So,
Yeah.
but
It's hard to do. It's really
I
hard to
I've let
do.
so many good stuff pass, and I'm like, I don't got the money, can't do it. Gotta let it pass.
Yep.
I've had to do that here and there. So sure, yeah, we've all reached that point where sometimes you just have to you have to let it go, but it's really hard too. So.
Well, because especially when you see something that's like a decent deal, and you're like, oh, I do need that, and then you're like, another one will come up, and then the next time it comes up, it's like double the price, and you're like, well,
Way more. Yeah.
learned that
Do I
lesson.
really need it though?
Yeah,
That's You're always gonna have that with collecting literally anything. If you collect anything, it's always like
yeah,
that. Like the other thing I'm doing, it's stupid things. They ask twice as much as they're worth. Sometimes I'm desperate enough to pay. I'm like, I can really use that. It look
yeah.
good in the collection. So sometimes I do spend that money.
Well, sometimes you just have to. Like the dragon that I bought, I only bought it because it was under 1,000, so I was like, all right, well, slap.
Well,
Yeah,
the real pain is doing like both being a unit commander and needing to do an officer kit because you have to have all the extra stuff for everybody else, and you got to have your officer kit on top of that. And officer stuff is expensive because you carry other items. It's like, ah, yes, I need my binoculars and my strobe
yeah,
light,
yeah. First thing is binoculars. Oh,
sidearm.
my, triggers are expensive.
Yeah, I was lucky to buy mine through a friend, so I got them for a very good price, but they
Yeah,
are not
especially
great.
yeah,
Wait,
World
is this
War II.
friend
But
someone that's
still,
deployed to a certain island?
It is indeed. Yeah, the for World War II, I have the old Bausch and Lomb Signal Corps binos, so I luck out a bit. I don't need to worry about the M3s because those are much worse cost wise.
All the cool guy stuff.
Yeah,
been thinking about it for a while. Thinking about offloading the mine detector.
we I I think we have a mine detector. We just don't use it because like
Yeah,
we
there's
can't really display it well.
no, because it's a stick, basically,
Just have one
with a
guy
disc on
walking
it.
around, just going around in circles, putting down a
Which I
little
kind of
flag that
shot the
says mine.
idea, like doing some stuff like that to my one of my unit leaders, and they just kind of shot the idea down. So I said, okay, I guess I'm not going to bring this thing out. And then the last event we did, they asked me about it. You should have brought the detector. You could have brought it out for the display. Well, there's a reason I didn't. So
Also, to answer Remy's question, I don't know. Never seen it before.
I have thought about doing that kit though that you just mentioned, the Alice rig with every pouch printed in M81, like a super experimental history kind of goofy thing.
What I want to get my hands on is the Snow Woodland Alice gear that was made in like the 70s.
Well, there's a company I recently found a company in Australia that makes like reproduction Alice pouches, and they're in so many different weird camos. Like they print them in Ozcam too, or whatever the Australian pattern's called.
is
And
there
it's
like
just
any? Sorry, go ahead.
no, what's up?
What are you guys,
I
Canadian?
was just gonna ask, is there any? Well, occasionally I see the desert Alice patches come up. Like, is there any value to those?
To my knowledge, they were all made commercially, and then some guys use them. The Air Force in like '03 and '04 had some, but other than
But
that, I
the
don't think
pictures,
they were issued.
yeah, the only pictures I've ever seen are like you said, the Air Force guys using them.
Yeah, it's
And,
security police.
The
yep.
only official tan item that is official, it's not even technically Alice, is the two court,
Yeah, I was about to say.
which for some reason was being tested by guys that weren't in Desert Theater. So
Yeah, and then I found a picture. I think it was from Golden Pheasant '88, or maybe Calfex. There's some guy, seventh guy, in like the middle of the lush jungle, and he has a big
tan.
tan box on the side of his rucksack. It's like, okay, dude,
Yeah, it's that shows up in Team Spirit 87 as well, where there's a guy with just a tan.
that might be it. That's probably what I'm confusing.
No, I think it also shows up in Golden Pheasant as well with the seventh. So it's one of those weird. Woodwind Alice is weird because like according to the quote unquote experts, there isn't any true Alice gear that's in Woodland, but you have like the FS Sput pack that's in Woodland, the later training pack in
Yeah.
Woodland that came out in the late '90s. Like it's it's weird.
I
But
really want to
I
do a
guess
kit where it's either like every I kind of want to do one where everything is like an older pattern, like Erdl or something, like a what if kind of kit before Woodland, just for the meme. It's like yes, my Erdl M56 pouches.
oh god.
Would be cursed as hell, but I love it.
great. That
Oh yeah,
reminds
yeah,
me of
yeah. That's right. You're right. Medium Alice packs did come in Woodland. That's my bad.
that reminds me of I don't know if you guys really keep up much with Mike B, but the Mitchell chest rigs that he's making. I don't know if you've seen those or not. Mitchell pattern ones.
Oh god.
I do not
Yeah,
follow Mike B.
I specifically stopped following Mike B because he drives me nuts.
Yeah, I want to be nice about it, but I don't keep up with him.
Controversial take. I don't like Mike B. I'm not gonna be nice about it. No, I'm sorry. That man would always block his comments and stuff and doesn't know how to take critique. I'm calling him out. I'm calling him out. No, I'm just kidding. I just don't. I don't agree with some of his takes.
Mitchell,
yeah, yeah.
I think I have seen the Mitchell chest rig though. That's pretty funny.
I
Oh yeah, no,
saw
because
that.
he's making all sorts of goofy. He has like the
Yeah,
Rhodesian Hasgit cover. Oh yeah, God,
it's
Lord.
it's crazy stuff.
Never mind.
It's all
Okay,
kinds,
yeah, I remember this.
it's all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm like,
I
man,
do,
all
I
this.
do, I do kind of vibe with the Mitchell Pasget hover though. That's pretty six. Never mind, $68. Never
That
mind.
that's
I'll make my
that's the
own.
reason.
I will
Yeah, well,
make my own.
that's the reason why I'm not a big fan is because it's like I know he's making it by hand, but really $68. It's like, come on, dude.
I mean, how much is like you pay what square yardage for like the material? I mean, I don't know how much the material costs. I don't know how many yards material you get, but
Yeah,
I used to
I
work in a sewing factory, so I kind of know how that works.
it just I know it's made by hand, but it's just
They're pretty. I do find the Mitchell one pretty funny though. That's pretty cool.
yeah. I just don't. I think it's just the way he presents things that I'm just like, all right. That and the fact that he shot like a bunch of rare helmets that I'm like, this didn't need to be shot.
That's fun.
I have a certain individual
Yeah,
I know who kept asking for an original World War II M1 helmet to shoot as a display item.
no.
Why?
Exactly. Oh, and while you mentioned that, I'm scrolling through his website. A French F1 1978 helmet used in U-2 ballistic test. It looks like it was dropped on its head 85 times. $20. M65 Spanish M1 clone. There's just like two gigantic holes in it. $20.
Insanity. Insanity.
Yeah, he usually buy gods until there's nothing left. So
Lord almighty. Yeah, goofballs right. You can definitely
I
just
was
buy
just
a
gonna
repro.
say, goofballs in the
It's
chat.
well, see, it's funny too because I found a video from a training exercise in like '87 or something, and the guys, the Mitchell covers with the big training numbers on the side,
Yeah.
yeah,
they have those on their Pasgets.
Damn.
So it's
really.
like just do that, I guess.
That's wild.
I can
I don't
find
e-
it again. It's just gonna take me a
like
minute.
my big thing is it's like I don't know why you'd want the Mitchell pattern because it's no offense to the Mitchell pattern, kind of not that good.
Yeah, especially in a darker environment like a stateside training op.
Yeah, it's not the greatest camo.
I don't know. Maybe they just wanted the
No,
big training numbers on the side for whatever reason.
It could be, yeah.
Beats me,
I mean,
dog.
it is the U.S. Army where they were like, oh, you want to be op 4? We'll just slap a wooden fin on top of a liner and call it a day.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I mean, and it's not even the
it's a little
worst part about this.
fancy.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to show it in the camera, but it's not even centered. It's like slightly
Oh,
off
dude,
center.
come on.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's great.
It's
A for effort, I
hilarious.
guess.
So, like, I've always heard, like, is it that people hate being an Op 4 or Op 4 is hated? Like, what's the stigma there?
My understanding is people love being op 4 because you get to mess around and do stupid stuff, and
Yeah.
Right.
you're not
So
you're
that's what
not
I kind of
governed by the
figured.
same rules. But
Well, Duncan was like, "Hey, you should come be op for me in Louisiana full time." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you should.
It's like,
That'd be fun.
yeah, let me go pack up my entire life to move to the JRTC and work as an Op 4 guy professionally. Get to mess
Yeah,
with
but
the big box of tricks that they have, the big disguise box.
the only problem is
Yeah, I
you'd have
mean,
to go
somebody
to
did
Fort
that.
Brooke, so
Yeah, that would suck, dude. Well, because when he first PCS there, he kept sending pictures and it's like just knee deep water all the time. It's like, oh, that looks miserable.
I heard it's the worst place to go.
Yeah, unless you're a Marine and you get sent to 29 Palms.
I don't know. I still heard Louisiana's
Heard,
worse.
heard, yeah, I heard Fort Bliss isn't fun either. Texas.
I can only imagine.
Anything that's really far south, really humid, and always hot is going to be miserable.
Oh yeah, the humidity is it's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm
you know,
just,
you live in Tennessee. I'm
yeah,
just a stone's throw from you.
it's not even the deep South, man. You're just in the South, and it's terrible. You're talking about you know swamp in some areas
A
I
couple
don't know.
days ago, it was like
I didn't think
101
Georgia was
degrees.
that bad.
How long were you in Georgia?
Just for basic training.
Ah,
And we went through the swamp.
Benning. Wait, what did they
I don't
rename
That's
it?
Fort Moore, sir.
know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for
That's
correcting me.
it. Take your stuff out back. 50
Cancel.
Well, see,
flogging.
that's base, but
Cancel.
it's named after Halmore, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. That's a
Yeah,
good
that's
change. Unlike Fort
Yeah,
Liberty,
it
that was
is a good choice.
so bad.
Right. I legitimately couldn't remember.
I
So
Yeah.
the fact that they didn't rename a fort to Fort Shaw makes me so mad.
See, the
Robert
problem
Gould
with that
Shaw
one,
is my favorite American officer of all time.
imagine the South protesting though on that one.
Now they look like idiots. It'd be
Well,
hilarious.
but the Army did name Fort Bragg Fort Liberty, so it's
Yeah, there
not
were
the
a lot
greatest
of
organization.
Fort Vinning. Make it Fort Vinning.
That would be great. Did you watch that like 4 hour live stream with him?
No, I didn't know. I didn't have the time to watch that. Well, I want
Dude,
to.
you have to watch that. He goes into so much detail. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I agree. Fort Shaw would be cool. I mean, the problem is like it makes sense up here because that's where he's from,
Yeah,
but we don't really have any bases that need to be renamed. Unless they make
because you're not in the
Cape Cod
South.
something. Yeah, exactly.
you know what? I'm not even gonna argue with it. It's kind of what it is.
Man with Southern accent can't have an opinion right now.
It's just the South being the South, man. Like, what else you want me to say?
It's only the War of Northern Aggression. Um,
Oh my god, I roll my friggin' eyes when I hear people say that.
Ah, yes. Let's name our active United States military installations after the people we defeated in a war. That'll truly be a really good way
That
to
would
honor
just be
the
like,
memory.
it'd
that's
be like
Southern
some World
pride.
War II.
Fort Himmler.
It was when you spit my drink up.
Fort Gurney. Yeah, that's a place I definitely want to
Fort
go to.
Goring. Oh my god. Yeah.
That's
That's a valid point. That makes about as much sense as doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Heritage not hate.
Stealing stuff from the armory is the best way. I mean, all you got to do is just get your hands on a crappier version of it, like a beat up one, and then just turn that in, and you can keep your helmet.
I find that hilarious.
Not as crazy though as the guys in my. I think it was in Mass that they were stealing 240s. They were reservists, and they had ETS. Went back in and stole a couple 240s to sell on the black market.
Whoa.
And then there was a guy who
Oh,
was
It's
dude.
like
actually like kind of low.
refurbing. He was an armorer refurbing M4s, and he was like doing some magic with the parts and stuff, and was selling the full kits on the side in the black market with full M4 kits.
Living in Virginia is an NCIS's like hotbed, dude. You got Quantico, you got Norfolk. Those two,
Yeah.
like you'll see a listing in Norfolk. Rare military helmet, all complete. It's just the helmet the guy removed from the destroyer.
That's insane.
Especially because I'm really close to Quantico. There's so much modern marine surplus around here.
There's a
Frogs
joke in there
and coyote
somewhere.
equipment and helmets and everything.
From what I last understood, as far as like surplus market, the reprint Chinese junk at the stores, the physical stores that are left around.
Yeah, the stores are all they're
Like if
pretty much
there's
gone.
anything of historical significance, they want like a insane price. Something like a World War II M1 helmet. They want like just the shell. They want like $350. So that's from what the last time I remember, and even that stuff's really gone.
I have one good surplus store nearby, and that's it.
The one near me, I bought 2 winter parkas from him, and it took me 4 months of leaving them in the garage for the smell of cigarettes from that store to remove themselves from the fabric. Whenever
Yeah.
you walk in there, it, like,
So
reeks of nicotine.
Uh,
so what would you say is a fair value of like I don't know, a decent or yeah, a decent condition M69 black?
oh, an M69. I would say like 200, 250 maybe in that.
Right, well, yeah, oh, so oh, maybe not a maybe just a 3/4 collar.
Ooh, depends on if it's a 823 contract, maybe a little bit more if it's pristine, depending on the condition. But
'Cause I have a 69 dated, so I was just wondering.
yours is probably a 122. I mean, I'd still say two, like right now, 250. I mean, unless you know someone that needs one, you want to sell it for a
Okay, so
little
I
cheaper.
paid 150 for mine at the surplus store.
Oh, that's
So
not
I
bad.
guess I did pretty good on that.
Yes, hello, me. I would like
This is
to,
like 2 years ago.
tentatively raise my hand as needing a three-quarter flak.
Be able to help a guy out there.
I missed my opportunity. Rooftop was, selling some last year. Aaron got one of them, but they were like $100 flat for a or maybe 150, $120. It was cheap for a mint three-quarter flak, and I should have
Mm,
bought one,
Yeah, you probably should have. Yeah,
yeah.
but didn't have the money. So, we were talking about it earlier, when you don't have the money, it just goes on by.
that's what a credit card is for.
Yeah,
Oh, no. That
What do you think?
gets you
What
in
do you think?
trouble real fast.
What do you think paid for this?
Lord.
That's on a credit card. That's just because I
See, that's
pay
an
it off every time.
acceptable if I
Second time
had,
lucky.
like if I was looking at the webs online tomorrow, and dragon just appeared for, like, $500, then, yeah, I'd probably throw it on credit. That's an acceptable purchase. Dragons are getting they're starting to become unobtainium, as if they weren't enough
Even
already.
I was gonna say, even though they seemingly show up kind of like I mean, IMA has sold like 30 of them in the last like 3 years, but they always sell them for like $1,100, which is
Yeah, I wouldn't
insane.
even put IMA in that equation.
Well, now especially because they're drilling holes in literally everything, which is
Bruh.
insane. Laws, AT4s, and dragons, they'll put a hole in it because they're afraid of ATF, even though the tube is considered inert at that point.
Yeah, love it.
I could spend $700 or $800 on a law on IMA and have a hole in it. Wow, amazing.
800, dude, um, Aaron had an M72A7 that he traded with Eric for. He sold it on eBay. You wanna guess how much money he sold this A7 Law for on eBay?
I don't know. Is it above or lower than 1,000?
Just give me a figure.
I don't know, 750.
It was $700.
I think I know that
$700
one.
for an A7 Law. Like,
I wanted to buy that A7 because I need one.
was it Aaron's?
I didn't buy it because I didn't have the money, but
"Hey, look, it's Eric. Hey, what's up, Eric?"
I need an A7 because I want to do a law from the start to the end. law video because I have an OG M72, I have an A2, which covers the middle, and A7 covers the end. But
Yeah.
I'll have to wait on that one.
When he told me that figure, I was like blown. I could not believe that somebody would willingly spend $700 on a fiberglass tube.
Well, look at AT4s are going for $1,000 now. I remember when I was like 10 years ago when you can get those for like 200 bucks, 150. Like
Yeah.
an idiot, I didn't buy one because I was stupid at that point. But
You never know until hindsight. It's 2020.
I'm blaming myself. I should have bought so much stuff like a decade ago, and I just was like, I'm not really that into collecting right now. But
Many such
can't com-
cases.
can't complain because I do have the AT4, so
There you go.
and and it's in pretty good shape.
It's such a hilariously long rocket.
It's stupidly long, and I don't really understand it. I don't get it personally, but
No wonder that the law came back for the GWAT.
yeah, I mean you can carry two of them, three of them, and you
Hmm.
don't need to take out a tank. Yeah, I'd take a law over AT4 any day. I can't even imagine carrying this thing because you can't really strap it to your ruck. It's too long.
Yeah, you walk through a doorway and you get slung backwards.
You're like a dog with a stick.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get me wrong. I don't. The AD4, the history of it's really cool, where it comes from, how Swedes developed it and stuff. But like, and it's an effective weapon system. I just don't understand the length of it for the size of it. But I mean, like maybe an eight. Like I just think you could upscale a law to be 84 millimeter and still maintain that retractability, effect. But maybe
The
I
other
don't
day
know
I
how to
learned that they
retract.
had a airburst law variant, which I was not aware of.
Oh, that's crazy. We should have got the Viper. No, I'm just kidding. The Viper is garbage. We just need a stinger. We need a stinger and a red eye. That's the next thing on the list.
No, we just need to show
Stinger, yeah.
Lele.
Oh, I want a Shillelagh, even though it's one of the worst ATGMs ever made, and it almost killed the
Interesting.
toe.
Really?
Yeah, because Congress was like looking at it, going, "Why do we need two of them? We already have one that's sort of working," and they almost
I
canceled
was
the toe.
wondering. Was wondering how long we'd get in this stream till the toe was breaking.
I've been holding off because I got an argument on another server about the toe, so I've been specifically holding off because I don't want to talk about it.
Remember that not being the case a few months ago.
It's funny because the argument was because it was just a guy who either was trolling or just didn't know when to be wrong, and it's so annoying because it was basically Taiwan bought a bunch of Totu Bravos and they were firing off Totu Alphas at targets in the water, and they were arguing about how, oh, it's because the toe can't fire over water, blah 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 blah, and because of uh I don't know. I got to look at the manuals because he was saying that you can't fire a toe over water, which toe two you can. You can fire up to 1,100 meters. And he was like, well, the Twitter thing says toe. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he could just be using toe as like, it's a Twitter user. He could have just said toe. It doesn't mean it's specifically the original toe. It's just, I'm not going to get into it too much more than that, but it was just insane.
It's
And I
the
was
it's
like,
the internet.
yeah, I was like, why did I even engage? Why did I even engage?
Yeah, that's all. That's all you need is to initiate contact, and it kind of goes downhill from there.
And it's like, the problem was the Taiwan gunners were 7 out of 17 missiles fired hit their targets. They're terrible in accuracy. And they're trying to say it's because they were hitting the water because the toe is a bad design because it's wire guided, blah blah blah, all this stuff about the toe being a bad design. And I was just like watching these gunners fire, and I'm like, almost guarantee it's either gunner error and they're just dumping the missiles in the ground, or missile failure, which is also very likely. And I even sent a video of a missile I recorded failing after being launched and just going into the dirt. So you can't argue it's stupid.
Yeah, well, once somebody's got their man, you're not gonna change it.
Yeah, pretty
They're
much.
they're
So
right at the end of the day.
I was like losing my mind though. I was just like, and then he was like, another guy came kind of to my defense to be like, no, no, blah blah blah, and he was like, well, we're not even talking about range, and it's like, what? If it's a toe two, he's like, and I found an article from AP saying it's toe twos, and even then he was just like, no, I don't believe it. Okay, I'll turn myself up. They can if they can tell me if Logan, you can get the.
Yeah,
I turn myself up.
I will see.
It's probably because I keep looking away from the mic. I'm trying to look at
Maybe.
both screens. We got 10 viewers though. It's pretty good. It's one of the best streams. Wow.
Well, I just unmuted the stream on my end, and you got audibly louder. So
Okay. Well, thanks for the heads up.
Yep.
All right. 24-hour stream. Go. No. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do
There's
it.
no way I'd make it. I'd be passed out right here. I just promise you that.
See, I think it'd be funny to just run the stream and then just have us all fall asleep on stream, like hear snoring over the mic.
Oh no, I'd be doing. I'd have my fiance run out and get energy drinks. I'd stay up for the whole thing. I'd just be wired. Get one of those Panera lemonades that's like 400 milligrams caffeine.
Yeah, like the suicidal lemonades.
Yeah, I'll just be like jittering on the screen. I don't think I'm glitching out.
Well, I had a cup of coffee, and now I'm having a alcoholic beverage. So we'll see what happens.
This is number 2. I'm almost done with number 2.
And that thing looks so bright.
Yeah, they're pretty bright. They're pretty good though. Downey's pretty good cider.
I might have to order a 4-pack out of curiosity.
I just didn't want to have whiskey tonight. I was thinking about it, and I was like, I just got back from vacation, and I had whiskey like every night. So I'm like, I just don't want to have whiskey.
Today is Whiskey
It's
Thursday.
funny, like,
tomorrow is Whiskey Friday.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, you guys were talking about this, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, I'm really not. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not really a drinker. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't dip. I don't really do anything. It's weird.
Unless you're boring.
Yeah, it's pretty
No, I'm
boring. You're
kidding.
right. No, you're right. I'm a pretty boring person.
You gotta bump up those numbers. You gotta get some vices.
You can start with Zyn.
Well,
Apparently, that's the big thing nowadays.
yeah, guys I work with, it's happening. Some still dip, but some do they do the Zen too. So
I was like, dip. Just go right to heroin at this point. You gotta make up for
well, my
walks around.
family. It's funny. My family, they're convinced. They're like, dude, you don't do anything. You sure you're not like a crack dealer or something? Like, you have to have some kind of that you do. Like, they're convinced. Like, yeah, you must like smuggle cocaine or something. Like, no, not really.
You're too normal.
I guess. Yeah, it's like I'm the normal one here, guys.
No. You gotta have a vice. If you're not, you're not an alcoholic, a drug addict, I don't know, surplus addict.
Our vice
you're not
is
doing drugs.
reenacting. Like, let's be real here.
That's true. Yeah, we can't do drugs.
There it is.
Our money on
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I'm in the presence of a collector. My bad.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a casual examiner of old antiques.
Examiner of old antiques. Is that how you write on your resume?
Yeah, how about we just like round all this up into one vague category of military enthusiasts? How about that?
I love the military-industrial complex.
I can't say that. I can't even say that with a straight face because I can't.
I mean, who made your dragon? Was it Raytheon?
Yeah, I think so. Good old buddies, Raytheon. Oh yeah, it was Raytheon. Yep.
There you go, supporting the military-industrial complex.
Hey, that's a local. It was local. It's a local company. I gotta support the local companies.
They're I think they're based out of my town now because on our welcome sign it says "Welcome to" and then home of like Raytheon Industries in Northrop Grumman on it.
Yeah, they moved their headquarters out of Mass.
Interesting to be known for that. Put it on like your "Welcome to this town" sign, but
I still have Natick Labs though.
That reminds me of Smith and Wesson too. I think also.
Yeah,
coming to my
We
neck of the woods.
we lost
'Cause
everyone.
they built a
Ruger,
factory
Smith
down.
and Wesson.
Honestly, at this point, I think narcotics would be cheaper than this hobby. Like,
Yeah,
straight up.
but we still have naked glass. So
I've from from experience on the job, I've seen it firsthand. So I'll just put it that way.
that's why you don't do drugs.
Hey, I
You
didn't
see
say
it.
it's a good alternative. I'm just saying it's cheaper.
I mean, I did see somebody pull 53 grams of cocaine from their pants.
Was it their
Wonderful.
pants or somewhere else?
No, it was their pants, and they weighed it on the spot, and it was 53 grams. So, so yeah, that's just on the top
We
there.
went from talking
First thing
about
I would think of,
maneuvers to drugs.
just
All right,
sometimes
all
when
right,
you have
well
people
then.
that get when you get people that have we call incarceratus. So
Yeah.
Well then, throw us a subject.
anyway,
I don't have a subject. I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, am I supposed to be running this show?
well, I mean, you are, yeah, you're the head guy in charge here. You kind
Hey
of
man,
set
I
this whole
switched
thing
it.
up. So yeah, we kind of assume that.
Damn, I messed up. I wasn't prepared for this at all. I
Hold
don't
on,
know.
someone get a
It's a
Jeopardy
1,000
music
subs.
soundbite.
It's a 1,000. It's a 1,000 sub stream. Thanks for giving me 1,000 subs. I'll give you 2,000.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
pitch.
2000. So we can do a 2000. That's when we'll do the 24-hour
God,
live stream.
you gotta save that for
2000.
10,000 at least, man.
I was gonna say, I don't know, 2,000. I don't know if I'm willing.
Well,
I mean, I'm
I'm
not gonna
just trying to
lie.
throw something out there.
I
I'm
would
not
do a
saying somebody's gonna
24-hour
try it.
stream. I would do it. I would stay up for 24 hours for the stream, for the memes. But
I mean, how
Well,
would
you already have what, another 400 since the 17th?
yeah,
That's pretty solid.
yeah, that's pretty good.
My girlfriend
Um,
suggests we should talk about helmets because I'm always complaining about them, apparently.
What's your complaints about helmets?
To be honest, I don't really know.
Well,
My
your
biggest
girlfriend
problem
knows.
is with the M1. I despise the M1 helmet, personally.
well,
Whoa, whoa.
whoa, hang on a second.
You can't
Well,
slander that.
Them's fighting words.
That is God's gift
look at this.
to
This is one of these
America.
Kelly helmet guys. Thinks he's real cool because he wears a Kelly helmet.
Hey, this is someone that likes the
Paul recommends
M60.
doing a
So.
1 week straight stream when you hit 10,000.
I'm not doing a 1 week. I think my fiance would kill me at that point.
Lord
I
Almighty.
think you'd have to wear I'm pretty sure you'd have to wear a diaper.
No, my biggest gripes with the M1 helmet are that they are one size fits all. So if you have too big of a head, it won't fit properly. If you have too small of a head, it's gonna fit like, a giant pot. And the chin strap system has never really been amazing.
I was gonna say this sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah,
Look, man, the Pasget is an improvement over the M1 in literally every single facet.
That's because Nate Glass spent like 6 years figuring out the perfect head.
It was necessary because the M1 should not have lasted as long as it did.
no,
It's look,
no,
it's
it
an
shouldn't have,
aesthetic,
but it
it's a
did.
vibe. I get it. I cannot, especially the M1C. The M1C is one of the most uncomfortable helmets I have ever worn. The pad
I
is
think it's
tight.
fine
The
if you
chin
take the
strap is
pad
tight.
out.
Well, yeah, but see, it's a crash pad. It's meant for jumping out of planes.
I don't need no crash pad. I'm jumping out without it.
Gallant Eagle 82, your neck just explodes.
Yeah, I don't need it. That's what the VA is for, right? They'll take care of me.
Jeez.
No, they won't. But
Yeah, I have
no,
to say,
I understand what you're getting at because they did try to replace it many times, and because of I don't know reasons they didn't. But
it's I
Well,
don't know.
because it
It's the
worked.
aesthetic.
It was a steel
It's the
pot. It worked.
it's the aesthetic for me. Like it's just such an iconic helmet. It's just hard
No,
to
I
ignore.
get it. I think the aesthetic is cool. I just don't think it's a well-made helmet in like the later parts of the 20th century. Was
I
it
agree with that.
decent in World War II, Vietnam? Sure. It was so outdated by the time 1980 rolled around.
To be fair, they were
Well,
trying to replace it. It just took a long time.
Also, yeah, the Pasget
yeah.
with the crash pad does suck. If
Yeah,
your
that's not
helmet,
comfortable.
yes, I have done the stupid thing where the tab that goes over the sweatband, I just cut the tab out.
Yeah, I don't understand
Because
what they
see,
were
I'm
thinking with
I'm
that.
special. I have a really big occipital bone, which is like that big bone at the back of your skull. And so the reason helmets don't fit me usually is because that gets very compressed against things. So you just cut out the little tab in the back of the crash pad and boom, easy money.
This just in, Logan is actually a xenomorph.
Well, let's see. I'm tall. I got a weird ass knob in the back of my head. Yeah.
You got that second mouth, you know.
Yeah.
Someone's
God.
gonna have to Photoshop.
I don't know who Obama Gaming is in the chat, but for some reason they know me, and that makes me very uncomfortable.
They got to be from the server. Come on.
They've got
Where
to
do you
be.
see? All right.
I
So
just
serious question.
opened up
Where?
the YouTube stream in the other window.
Make you mute it.
I was about to say, how the frig are you seeing a chat? 'Cause I don't.
I guess we're not
Where you
getting
got
Graham
No,
tonight.
I'm pretty
Everyone,
happy with the Pasget. I think it's a much better helmet. Um,
Yeah.
the problem is if you have a pad that's like brand new, because see, as reenactors or collectors or whatever, we wear them temporarily, and so we never really have time to form fit them. But if you were a guy who had to wear that helmet every single day in the division, do jumps with it, then you would eventually all that sweat and all that time spent wearing that helmet would eventually fit that pad. And like I've worn a helmet that has a pad that's been installed for longer periods of time, and it's much more comfortable than like installing a fresh pad. So
no,
So
that makes sense. It's the same thing
they're
with
just breaking it
ACHs.
in.
yeah, just like
Like
everything.
ACHs are not comfortable to wear for long periods of time. That pads, everyone's like, oh, it's got pads. The pads are hard as
No,
it can
things
be.
suck.
Wearing a stone. And then you put
So
that
yeah,
on
I
your
guess
head and you wear it with NVGs on your head, and your neck feels like it's gonna snap off because they don't issue us counterweights. Your head's just doing this the entire time.
Bruh, no counterweights.
And then you go to bed and your left eye is just a green circle for about, I don't know, 40 minutes.
That's hilarious.
I haven't
so. Is
worn
the
the eye hip, so
ECH
I don't know how good it is.
so is the ECH any better than
It's the
the
same shape, so it's got to be about the same. But
brand?
it's I think it's lighter slightly. It has better. It might be a little bit heavier. It's better protection. So you do have better protection, except for the deformation on the ECH and the early eye hips. Apparently, is a problem. I don't know. I just had an
Just
Yeah,
going
opinion.
back to the M1 helmet, even though I
it,
find it very uncomfortable, I find the M1C to be more vibey than the standard M1, like the standard Ground Troops M1.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
like the chin
yeah,
strap.
yeah. The chin strap's pretty based. So I'm inclined to agree with that.
I never worn the RBR style Pasget, so I don't know how that liner works. But I will say the French, the F, what is it? The F2 is an extremely nice helmet. It's got like a Pasket style suspension, but with like foam inserts. It's pretty nice. Actually, I can grab it real quick. It's right here.
Wow, look at Mr. Fancy right here.
Ugh.
This very niche
Hey,
helmet that not very many people own is really cool. Oh wait, hold on, it's right next to me.
yeah, let me just grab it here real
Yeah, see,
quick.
it's got padding on the inside. It's pretty nice. I like the French did it pretty good. I am French,
Oui, baguette croissant.
Parlez-vous français?
but I could wear this
Parlez-vous
like this.
français, Mr. Geek?
I could wear this all day long. This
Monsieur Geek.
compared to a Pasget, I can wear this way longer. This is so much
Do the
more comfortable.
French have an organic paratrooping regiment? Like, do they have a actual paratrooper unit?
I don't know. What am I, French?
I think they do in the
Because
Foreign Legion.
yeah, I don't know if they do anymore. Do they? Oh, they do. Okay, of course they do. I was wondering if they had like crash pads for that helmet.
I don't
But
think
if
they
you're
really. I don't think they would need it. They're French. They just put a baguette in the back and call it a day.
God, it'd be a stale baguette. That would hurt like hell.
Le Monsieur Geek has lifted the jet.
All right, you're cut off.
Execute him. It's over.
Back of the head only. It has to be with a baguette, though.
What in God's name is that Brit? What is that?
No, it's
German.
it's a what is this? Dutch camo,
Oh, Dutch. Yeah, that makes sense.
but it's on a German.
Schubert.
Yeah. What the hell is the 892? Just the M92.
Interesting.
Yeah, German suspension's not bad, but it's more rigid than the French. I think the French nailed it with suspensions. I'm just gonna keep grabbing helmets because I have so many Pasget European Pasget
You have
clones.
to have them laying around, No big
Yeah.
deal.
So the original Pasget clone, the first. Oh my god, I can't get the stupid chin strap undone. Holy crap! Who designed this crap?
The Pasget buttons are also really crappy sometimes. They just will not come undone. They will not latch.
So the original clone is the Spanish.
That looks awful.
It's very okay. They were the first to copy the Pasget in the mid '80s, and every Pasget clone in Europe basically came off that.
Have you ever noticed that after World War II, all British helmet design just completely dropped off the face? Like they just all look terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Like from the Falklands War and Northern Ireland all the way up to the modern one, they're just so terrible looking.
Yeah, I think they look pretty goofy.
Well, I have you know that
My God, that is awful.
That's
I
a
mean,
bit stupid, isn't it?
it's not sized to my. I have a Mark 6 lying around here somewhere, but I'm not gonna find it. I don't. What are you
Lord
guys talking about?
almighty.
This looks fine. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Jeez, so mean to the Brits.
It provides like absolutely no ear protection either.
Hey, this was a stopgap solution.
PPE is nice. Oh,
This was a
that's
stop. This is what the
Australia.
Mark 7, I
Stopgap,
think.
yeah.
We don't need no bloody ears.
And then if you're really annoying, you are our great white North neighbors, and they're terrible. We're gonna make a really weird looking helmet.
Is that Canadian?
Yeah, this is the CGA. What 643?
That's what we're talking about.
Dude, I don't know what they were like. Oh, let's not copy the Pasget or the ACH. We'll just do our own thing, and then they come up with this.
You know what's really funny about Canada is that they used the exact same M1C pads the US did. Like, there's no marking difference, and you can find them for like $5 as opposed to boomers on eBay asking like $25 to $50 for an M1C pad.
Yes, boomers doing
Now
what
you
they
know.
do, overpricing everything.
Well, if you ever need an M1C pad and you can't find one, search for Canadian specifically instead. Might come in handy.
Cool.
That does not fit you.
No, it does not. I
Have
don't
you ever
buy.
seen the comparison between a small and extra large Pasget helmet? Or sorry, an extra small and extra large?
No, it's probably
Haven't
ridiculous.
It is hilarious.
Do you want to guess what country this is from?
Poland?
No, I wish I had a WZ2000, but I don't.
I have no idea.
It's Italian.
Oh, Italian. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's the at least I think this is the Italian one.
Poland.
Yeah, this is Italian. I have a WZ93, but I don't have a 2000. I don't. Oh, I do have one more Pasget clone that I can reach.
Bonk.
Oh god. Sorry. All right, guess the nation. You're not gonna get this one, but guess this one.
Mexico. I don't know.
No, I wish. Serbia actually.
Serbia.
Interesting.
Serbia.
It's a French clone though, so it's a clone of a clone.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for Serbia, I guess.
Yeah, it's an M97. This one has a funny story because DHL it shipped it from overseas, and DHL sent it to a clothing shop on the Cape, who then promptly called me and said, "Hey, we have your helmet. Do you want to come pick it up?" And I was like, "Sure." So it was these nice ladies who run a quilting shop who got a Serbian M97 in their mail with a bunch of quilting supplies, and was like, we didn't order this." So thank you, DHL, for that one.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm a fan of the Paskin.
Yeah, that gets a nice helmet. Oh shit! I swore on stream. Oops.
Oh no.
And the best Paskin of all, detachable liner Paskin. Because why not? I wish this video did a little bit better than it did, but I don't know. Maybe in time, people will appreciate the oddity of this thing.
It looks like a GI Joe helmet.
I don't know why it's black. I'm not sure why they spray painted it black, but they did.
Yeah, pretty odd.
Unfortunate.
That's the Marines for you. Yeah, that's all I had to show though. So.
Yay!
I mean, that's not true. I have a shitload more stuff, but
Jake
I'm
has
not
shared. Oh, you swore again. You swear. You gotta put a penny in the swear jar.
Ah.
He shared with the
All my-
class and he immediately swore it's over.
As long as I
Yeah,
don't drop
right
an
now
F-bomb,
all
we'll
my
be good.
helmets are shoved into a tote right now. So with a bunch of other totes stacked on top of them. So
No swearing in Mr. Jake's classroom.
But yeah. I mean, I got the DH-132AS rib version sitting on the front of that monitor right now. Yeah, I don't know why they painted it black. I don't have an answer. There's no information written on the detachable Pasget. It just is an anomaly that exists, and no one seems to know. I was really hoping my video was gonna have some random dude be like, "This is why," blah 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 blah. But no, didn't get enough attention to bring that out. Wow, got really quiet, guys. Jeez, we're lying.
man. Trying to think of a topic. I've kind of been away from this thing for a while, so it's like that brain fog.
Hold on. I got an idea.
Oh,
You gotta do random topic generator.
Oh God. What could
Topics
go
for
wrong?
business. Let's see what we got.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, topics for couples. Let's go, baby.
oh God, I might have to walk away from that one. I'll leave you guys up to it.
What's your favorite season and why? Because I'm a fan of autumn.
Autumn.
Can't wait for summer to be over. Especially here in Virginia. It's been misery.
Yeah, fall's pretty nice up here. I mean, the problem with fall though is it leads into winter, and then that means I have to work more. So
God, I would kill to go up to Boston in the fall.
you should come up to Boston in the fall then. Come up specifically in October.
I would like to.
Do it.
I want to visit the Heritage Museum.
Yeah, you should do it during October when they do the Battle for the Airfield. I'll bring you.
Oh damn, that'd be cool.
I forget what
funny.
the
That's
date,
what my
but I
birthday-
think it's Columbus Day weekend. I think that's when they do it, but don't quote me on that. I think G.I. Jones should also come up to Heritage Museum.
I'd love to. So I'd like to see, some Boston Fire Department stuff as well.
Wow. Okay, calm
Big
down.
fire
We
buff,
don't have to go
as no one
crazy over here.
knows.
Now you're getting
Well,
crazy.
the
Now you're
farthest
getting out of
north I've
line.
ever been is DC. Funny enough. Well, yeah, DC is the farthest north I've ever been. So There's a few other
My
places I like.
condolences.
Hey,
I've
that's
just
where
kind of
Yankee
been
is
a
right now.
southern. I've just kind of been a southern boy my whole life. So
That's where Yankee Military is right now. He's in DC.
he's in DC.
Yeah.
Yep, he's working working that job of his.
Yeah, I talked to him recently.
Yeah, I talk to him every once in a while.
Hey, that's not bad. $59 for a coach from DC to Boston? Really? Wow. That's
Shoot. Yeah, that's
really
really good.
decent, actually.
Yeah.
That is on the train, granted, but that's really good.
Sounds like you're coming to
Well,
Boston.
yeah,
Although I probably upgrade the business because of how tall I am.
let's just go.
Shipping off to
We'll just all
Boston.
go.
Unironically, yeah, I'd come up to Boston in October.
You should.
I will.
Vacations.
I'm calling your bluff.
Just
I'm
throw me the
working.
dates and I will.
See.
We'll live stream
Yeah,
at
right.
American
Yeah, go to
Heritage.
Salem. Do a podcast episode in the Salem like we said we would.
I'm not doing that. You can go to Salem. That place is nut show in friggin' October.
You don't like it?
You can't even get into it. I don't know how people live in Salem during October. It's crazy.
I bet it's insane. I don't think I would want to.
Everyone always is like, "Let's go to Salem." I'm like, I don't want to go to Salem. I don't even like people that much.
It's kind of a problem you seem to run into anywhere. That's my problem.
I want to
too.
go to the ship,
Which ship?
the Salem.
Oh, the USS Salem is great. I
Oh
went
my
there with my
God.
fiance.
I meant the ship.
Oh, that.
That's
That
not in Salem though. I don't know where it is right now, but it was in
No,
Quincy.
I know. I said I want to go to the Salem. It's in
Oh, I think you're saying
Quincy.
to Salem, but yeah,
No,
yeah,
God, no.
Salem's great.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
but you also got to
guys
do
bring
Battleship
it.
Cove.
Yeah, see, last time I was up in Boston, I was gonna go to Salem, but I didn't have time, and they were closed on the day that I was gonna go. So
We got to do
what?
Salem, Battleship Cove for BB 59 Massachusetts, and then we got to go down to Connecticut and go to Nautilus.
Oh, dude, I haven't been to Nautilus since I was like 8 years old.
Nautilus is great. I should have wore the T-shirt.
I love Nautilus.
I haven't. Well, you guys talking about ships? I guess you guys see where they're scrapping the United States or whatever,
Yeah,
or not scrapping, but they're gonna sink it.
think it.
Scuttle it,
Yeah,
right?
there's a reef.
Yeah.
I love how goofy the Nautilus's name is. I serve on the USS Nautilus.
Dude, it's such a great museum ship though. Like Graham was here, he could tell you all about it, but he's not here right now. Everyone should go to Instagram and pester him and tell him to get on.
Do they only? Well, see, I haven't been there in forever. Do they only have? Um, hmm. Is it only
Yeah.
her at the museum, or do they have another vessel there?
It's just the Nautilus if I remember correctly.
Okay.
The
They have
closest museum.
they have outside the actual museum they have like a piece of what is it NR1
Oh yeah,
uh
nice.
and then they have what else they have a couple other smaller submarines sitting outside. I forget like a I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Nautilus was designated the official state ship of Connecticut in 1983. That's hilarious. I didn't know you could have a state ship.
there's also a uh I can't remember what the fort it is, but there's a fort not too far from Nautilus that's pretty sick to check out. Like a Revolutionary War era fort that's like looking over the harbor.
I would kill to do a coastal artillery tour up in Massachusetts area.
I just wish we had a Nike site that was still kind of there and not a
Well, the
dog
only one
park.
is that I can think of is what, Fort Story.
Yeah, because there's a couple of like former sites that used to have some of the structures left, but most of them are gone at this point. Kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I was speaking of NR1. My dad used to do professional model making. He did a display model of the NR1.
And your dad and Graham would get along really well.
Yeah, he did a lot of sub models.
Closest museum trip to me is North Carolina.
North Carolina. Is that a heavy cruiser? Huh.
North Carolina's a battleship.
Oh, it's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
couldn't
don't know.
remember.
I'm not a naval expert. So.
Oh
If I recall
no.
correctly, she is. I think it's she's a ship in her class. And if Goofball's still in the chat, he's about to destroy me with his knowledge.
He might not be. He's fine.
Yeah, lead ship of the North Carolina class. That's what I figured.
Interesting.
I can tell you about the Tennessee. Doesn't
I was just gonna
exist.
say, yeah, you're
Yeah, we have the ship's bell. that's,
there. You go.
that's what's left. Like, because they were originally, the state wanted to keep the ship, but they couldn't get it up the Mississippi, so they're like, oh, I guess we're just gonna scrap it
What
instead.
battleship Tennessee?
Yes,
Yeah, rip.
yeah, they're Tennessee Nashville. They're like, yeah, we want the ship, but they they couldn't get up the Mississippi, so that's
We
kind of
we
where.
have Wisconsin here in Norfolk, but I haven't been to the Wisconsin in forever. And she's closed for restoration right now, if I recall correctly. So it's like there's no real reason to go.
I just wish I went to the Missouri when I was in Pearl, but didn't
Yeah.
have time. Missed opportunity.
So I also want to say the New Jersey is in dry dock
It's
right
in
now.
yeah. I spent a night on the New Jersey when I was a kid in Boy Scouts. That was so much fun. Spent a
Oh,
night
Boy
on
Scout, eh?
the Torsk in Baltimore Harbor and a night on the New Jersey.
And I want to say that the Texas just came out of dry dock not too long ago, I think.
Yeah.
Texas is what, the last dreadnought? The last like
hmm
true
Yep.
dreadnought?
Yep.
Other than Mikasa, yeah, she's like the last super heavy dreadnought basically.
Yeah.
Because the only other ship I can think of is Mikasa, and she's permanently encased in concrete. And
Concrete. It's in Japan, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
she was, if I recall correctly, she was either designed or built by the British.
British. Yep.
Um,
Yep. That's right.
yeah,
Oh, Goofball is in the chat, by the way, so better watch yourself, Logan, and get anything wrong.
pretty sure Arkansas. Oh boy, yeah.
Get schooled.
Someone's got to know this stuff. It's not going to be me.
It's not me. I don't know much as it is anymore.
I used to know more. I am getting old.
Did you forget stuff?
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally understand. Forget more than you'll ever learn.
All right, you guys continue the conversation. I'll be right back.
All right, cool.
Try to keep it
Oh no,
interesting.
no, I'm under pressure. It's all over.
Yeah, this is it. I'm gonna choke. That was a great conversation.
Choked to death on stream. It's over.
Well, at least no one would see it.
The design of Mikasa is a modified version of the formidable class of the Royal Navy. Yeah, that makes sense.
So British designed it. They didn't build it though. Did.
Hold on. No, yeah, no, she was built in. Yeah, she was built in the Brits, Vickers, Vickers Steelworks, Barrow and Furnace. I don't care. I don't want to pronounce British names properly. She left Plymouth on 13th of March 1902.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember reading about it a while back because, like, you just get into a rabbit hole, just keep following it. So that's a just do a lot of digging for no. Like I just read about stuff like that for no reason. Like the information has no useful purpose to me at
Me
all.
spending 4 hours on Wikipedia because I kept clicking hyperlinks.
I do the same thing.
Oh, gee, I got to research this thing about an impression. Oh, that's cool. Oh, wait, that's neat too. Hold
Well,
on a second.
yeah, yeah. It just spirals. It snowballs. Yeah, you just keep going till you're either I get tired of reading or I'm satisfied with looking. It's one or the other.
Yeah. Let's talk about our favorite cartube, says Jade.
Favorite what?
Cartube.
Cart tube?
Cartoon, but misspelled. He put a B instead of an M.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think I have a favorite cartoon, but favorite cartoon. had to think about it. I don't really watch
Yeah, I was gonna say I
cartoons.
don't really either.
I don't. I can't say that's
Although I
I don't
do, I rewatched so many HBO miniseries recently. I rewatched Chernobyl, rewatched Band of Brothers, and Generation Kill. Also, um, I watched a new one called Valley of Death about the
know.
1973 Yom Kippur War. I didn't know that existed, but that was a
Oh,
pretty good.
oh, yeah. Did you watch the English dubbed one or the?
No, 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 sub.
Okay.
Never, never dub. Oh Lord, no. Yeah, because
So,
I saw your IDF post on Instagram. I was like, oh wait a
yeah,
minute, that looks mighty familiar.
yeah. The I just to see how it was because like you were saying, usually the English dub stuff is like really bad for anything. It applies to anything. I thought, you know what, I'll watch some of this with the English dub, and I changed it back really quickly.
Yeah, I swapped
So,
computers because I was watching on my computer and I started watching it in bed and it automatically defaulted back to the dub. I'm like, oh God, no, I'm never, nope.
you,
Mm-mm.
you can't take it seriously at all. If you try to watch it
Hey,
like
you're
that.
outside the bunker. Quickly, go get them. It's like,
It's
okay, okay, guy.
it's so bad. So yeah, that's why I don't bother with that either.
I've never like. It doesn't matter if it's like a Studio Ghibli film or anything foreign. I always watch sub if it's available. I never watch dub.
See, speaking of HBO, like which I've had a subscription for it forever, but yeah, I really like Chernobyl. There's a lot of I like the that whole deal, and I think the last thing I was watching, which is not related to any of that stuff, is Tokyo Vice. That's what I've been watching recently. So
Oh yeah, Earth to the Moon. I also watched Earth to the Moon again. That's an amazing series. If you've never seen Earth to the Moon, highly recommend. Greatest soundtrack ever, by the way. I'm so mad it's not on Spotify.
Earth,
It's the story of the entire American space program from Mercury to the end of the Apollo missions.
okay,
Really, really big star cast. Like every now and then I'll see somebody, an actor, I'm like, holy crap, he's in this? It's
wait, I
Are you
think
guys
produced
you guys are
by
talking about
Tom
Studio
Hanks too.
Ghibli?
No, we're talking about From the Earth to the Moon, the HBO show.
isn't there a no, there a related movie that's been made recently that has like Channing Tatum, some other people in it. I keep seeing previews, but I can't remember for the life of me what it's freaking called. 'Cause I think the Apollo era of NASA is pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, Fly Me to the Moon, that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, with Scarlett Johansson. No, another great series is oh crap, I can't remember. It was a PBS. It was a PBS
I know the one you're talking about.
TV movie.
Yes,
Voyage to the Planets.
I had to watch it
Voyage
when I
to
was.
the Planets is yeah, I watched it when I was super young and I recently refound it. I think it was on Vimeo or something, and it was so good. My favorite thing is the fact that it's a fictional show set up like a documentary. So you follow the lives of the crew like you're watching a news broadcast. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah, early space stuff is pretty cool, but that it kind of falls into the whole Cold War thing in general. So
Yeah, definitely.
I guess I was just gonna stare at you till you said something. I don't know what just happened.
I don't know. I'm hopefully my fiance's not watching anymore. She's probably gonna be like, wow, he's really fumbling this.
Sorry, I don't think we're. I'm definitely not on my A game today. So
No, I wasn't the minute I had all those technical difficulties. That totally threw me off.
I'm just here for the good times, man. I got
That's what
nothing
you
else to
always
do. I'm not working tomorrow. Whatever.
That's what you always say. You have a server to run and a unit to run.
I don't know how you keep up.
I don't. Thanks for asking.
Okay, so there.
I still have so much stuff to do before AHEC, dude. I got so many things. I gotta email. I gotta send an email to the organizer. I gotta finish some documents I was working on. There's so much crap to do.
I don't even know how you keep up the server. That's one of the reasons why I left.
Yeah.
I don't really. follow it much
Really?
at this point. Well, the server itself, no. I just like I maintain it, but I don't. I try not to stay too active in it anymore because I'm just so busy.
I
Hobbies.
just fit in every once in a while to see what's going
Uh,
on in there. About
But
it.
see, now that you're gone, Jake, I've been replaced as the new knowledge man because I was at work the other day. I opened my phone, first time the whole day. I had like 42 messages and 6 pings. I was like, yes.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the reasons why I left. I couldn't do it anymore. It was eating too much of my
I
time.
completely understand, dude.
I don't have any other hobbies. Basically, my only hobbies are SERP and geeking. I love movies and I love SERP.
She's serping on my geek till I 80s.
I might have to ban you.
Way too many. I got way too many hobbies.
Yeah, you got a couple of hobbies. I don't have anything. This is all I got.
Dude, let's see. Yeah, the Milsurp games. I'm a pretty big gamer. Not like your typical, Call of Duty, Warzone, all that stuff. I can't do that. I lose brain cells doing that. But
Watch him say he plays Hoi 4.
I can't I can't do Call of Duty or anything like that anymore. Just feel like I'm brain dead. So
Hey, I'll have you know,
do
I know a Call of Duty dev, and he hates it too. So
it's just piled up into nothing. That's
I
all
don't
it is.
game much anymore anyway.
I wish we can get him on. That would be fun. He's probably busy making Call of Duties.
I think that's the same one you were telling me, Jake, about the fun fact about the Hueys from the Black
Oh
Ops
yeah,
Cold War. Are
Oh
actually
boy.
Hueys. I didn't even
I told you.
realize that when I
Yeah,
played it. Like, I
yeah,
didn't pay
dude.
attention to
That's
that.
yeah. Everything. That's the thing. It sucks, dude. I'm telling you. The end of like big companies actually having realistic stuff is, it's an excuse, and it's also just they're too afraid to have it because of lawsuits. Thank
Licensing,
you,
is
AM
that the
General
I
and
I
and
played
Bell.
I played the campaign on a friend's computer while he watched over my shoulder, and I ripped the entire thing apart as I was playing.
I do plan on doing a series where I talk about video games and movies and
yeah?
stuff. Not to be a complete clone of another YouTube channel, but
Yeah, I think I see where this is
I
going.
would collab on that because I got some beef with Armory Forger.
oh god, dude, Armor Forger is like, uh,
Yeah,
I
I want
still
to hear
haven't
you
bought
guys.
it.
I want to hear your guys' take on
Okay,
Oh,
take like on the actual game itself or the inaccuracies with it.
that. Both. Both.
I haven't
Good.
actually played the game itself. I think it'd be
Yeah.
more successful if it didn't outright die. But considering it was like a test bed for upcoming Arma 4,
Right.
such a
yeah,
ripoff.
that's kind of to be expected. Um, the game itself, my biggest gripe is with their M16 A2 model because it's so lazy. It is a M16A1 with a Type D stock, like a Vietnam era stock, and rubber butt pad. And then it has a pencil barrel profile.
Oh, I did
And
not
it's
know
like
this.
you couldn't just model an A2. Why do you have a Type D stock? Like that
Now I
was
gotta
out
look
of
this up.
fashion 20 years ago.
Is it that bad?
I posted it. There's a guy on Reddit who posted it. He's like, "Wow, look at this retro rifle." I'm like, "Yeah, that's look at all these things." Like, well, the they did have the M16. What was it M16 A1 E2? It was like the experimental E2. He's like, well, they gave it to some guys. I'm like, yeah, dude, they gave it to the Marines first of all, and second, it was never. It wouldn't have been fielded in a war in that case. I mean, hell, the Army kept the A1 through the 90s. I mean,
They
the
should have
10th
kept the
Mountain. There's a
98 one.
picture of the 10th Mountain Division, a 1988, and they have the new, load bearing vests and everything, and they still have M16A1s. It's like, my guy. That's a
They should have
line.
kept
That's
the
a
A1.
quote line infantry unit. Still using M16A1s in '88.
Yeah, that's crazy that it's got the. Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and that's crazy. Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah, they're not. Well, it's the thing with games. They're not going to get everything. So yes,
They could though. That's the thing.
they could. Right. That's not without saying. Yeah, they
This is
could, but
why.
they
This is
don't.
why I so badly, if I had the time, I would love to make stuff for Operation Harsh because Doorstop because I want that game to look better because it pains me when I look at their stuff because it's placeholders. I don't know if you've seen anything on that, but
Yes,
No,
unfortunately.
they're using Alice for Vietnam because they're using it as a placeholder and it hurts.
The United States Army Museum at oh god, what fort would that be? I completely just blanked on the name of the fort. Wow.
The one that's near you, right?
Yes, the one that's right starts with a B. I completely blanked on it.
Uh,
You've got to be kidding me.
Fort B.
Sure, whatever. That one. They have Alice pouches in their Vietnam display.
oof.
It's like, okay. Cool, I
Come
guess.
on. Yes, like they shouldn't mess it up. Like,
And then Aaron
that-
and I, when we went, we got really nitpicky with the Marine Corps Museum just for fun because they had a Lebanon display, and some of the Marines in the Lebanon display had the later Paget vests with the covered buttons.
Oh yeah.
But that was just us being stupid.
That was a fair one though because it's like they could get their hands on something earlier.
they
Yeah.
could, yeah.
It's
Hey,
unfortunate
when I
the
get big
Grenada
enough,
display. So,
I was gonna say when I get big enough, I'll go after these museums for you.
Fort Belvoir.
There you go.
Thank you once again to my girlfriend who is watching and commenting.
Thanks to your girlfriend for being a viewer. This is great.
Yeah, yeah. No, but the only display for Grenada at the Army Museum is like a tiny little shadow box, and then they have outside the museum on this big walkway they have all the main army units and all the conflicts they were involved in, and they have the 16th Military Police Brigade, and they are not credited for Grenada,
Wow.
which feels really dumb because they were like the main military police unit on the island.
I know. I want to do a like history of Grenada video, the invasion, but then I'm like, I don't want to do it because it's so much work.
Yeah, it's
And I already know. I know you and Eric would be like, no, no, you got this wrong. You got that wrong. Yep, you got that wrong. That's wrong.
you have a copy of Rucksack War?
I do. I started reading over vacation, and then my head exploded.
Yep. Rucksack War, like you read 2 pages, it's just complete acronym soup.
Yeah. Oh, the first like I was with I was with friends, and they were like, "What are you reading?" So I was trying to explain to them and show them what this book is about, and I'm like, it's literally breaking down the logistics of getting the army to an island to fight, and I'm like,
Oh, I
I
brought it.
don't.
I brought it to my teaching job to read after I was done, and I was sitting in the hallway, and someone was like, "What are you reading?" I'm like, this."
It's so thick too.
The funny, I just use the online U.S. Army PDF. I just do Control F. Like I was trying to find history on the 17th Cavalry when I did that 117th Cav kit, which by the way, holy crap, really hard to research. Like, good lord. And I just did a Control F and searched 17 and went through the entire book to see if I could find anything.
Yeah, it's a thick
Big
book.
brain moment.
I couldn't keep reading it. I was like, I'm on vacation. I can't process this right now. So I
I
put it
need to
down.
start reading Cry Havoc.
I know. I need to get that too. That's on the list.
Well, he just restocked, so I think Jaeger's picking one up. So definitely pick up a copy on Facebook.
I know. I need to.
He'll sign
Considering I've
them for
already
you too
done.
if you ask. I had him sign mine.
Yeah, considering I've already done Grenada Rangers, I should probably do that because that would be smart of me. But no one said I was smart. So
Anytime I see like some obscure niche Grenada reference book or any real niche reference book, I'd buy it if it's like under $20.
that's fair.
There's really a lot of material out there on.
I picked up a big book that's like the whole history of the 82nd Airborne Division from its like founding as the 82nd Division back in the 1910s up through. I think a book was produced in like 1988, so it's all the history up to 1988. Has this cool reference though because it includes all the DUIs and all of the beret flashes and jump ovals for every unit that was in the 82nd 1988 as a quick reference, which is great because beret flashes are a bunch of soup.
Oh yeah, I found
So
out
it's
the
really
hard
nice to
way.
be able to open up a big spread that says, yes, this is the Division Arty flash, which is super simple. I already knew that one because it's just a big red. It's just red. That's all it is. The div already.
Wait, are you telling me that the artillery are red?
Whoa. Yeah, but they have like no other design. It's just a big. That's just all it is in the flash. It's just a red background.
I wonder what
Which is
they do
hilarious
to
to me.
distinguish the infantry.
I like the 18th Airborne Corps flash because it's blue with a white diamond. It's pretty cool looking.
I just don't like berets.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I think they're cool, mainly because I didn't have to actually wear one for work.
See, luckily, I barely ever had to wear mine. So
I find it fun to like turn on some music and grab my razor and shave a beret and shape it for an evening. I don't know. It's
they
like cleaning your
they
rifle.
test
It's
for
just it
that kind of
becomes a
thing.
point where you've done it so many times. It's just fun.
Yeah, they test for that kind of thing, No, I'm not gonna lie. It was a relaxing day when we made our berets at basic because they were like, "All right, go shave your berets," and like they didn't mess with us, so we just got to sit there and form and shave, and then form and shape our berets. So that was cool, but doing it like at home when I could be doing other things kind of sucks.
That's fair.
Guess it's the same
I
thing.
do agree that the black berets look kind of crappy.
Oh, they're so lame.
Like I understand maroon because the maroon beret is like a symbol of the airborne. It has been a symbol of the airborne for forever, ever since the Brits introduced it.
Yeah,
So that I understand. But like the black is just a
it used to be the symbol of something, and then it became everyone, and then they had to give Rangers tan, make them interesting, and then
well, the 101st Airborne just got beret flashes approved apparently, but they don't get their blue berets back,
oh,
which is rather
well,
unfortunate because that would be really cool.
yeah, but who really wants to be in the 101st?
Yeah, fair enough.
I know so many people who served in the 101st and said it sucked.
Yeah,
I heard Fort Campbell sucks. I heard being in the 101st sucks. I heard everything about it sucks, and I'm like, this is
Yeah,
why I didn't go full time army.
I'm pretty close to Fort Campbell.
yeah, because they're in
I was like,
Kentucky,
you
aren't they?
should join the army.
Yeah, just north. Yeah, just here where I'm at.
I feel like being mountain infantry would be cool if you were 10th Mountain.
I think 10th Mountain's
Just because
actually pretty
I
good.
like the whole concept of mountain warfare.
Yeah, that's fair. I've heard that they're pretty. They're not. The problem with the 10th Mountain is your duty station sucks.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where it kind of ends. But I don't know. I hear bad things about every freaking unit. And I mean, I don't know. My dad was first cav. He didn't mind being in Texas at Fort Hood, but that was Fort Hood in the '80s versus Fort Hood now. So
I feel like if you are a soldier in a military unit, you are always going to find something to gripe about that unit. So
yeah, exactly.
Army sends
Yeah.
you somewhere, you just got to deal with it, you know?
I mean, National Guard is completely different. My unit was great for the most part. Yeah, we did stupid stuff, but it was never usually because of my unit. It was usually brigade making really dumb decisions, and my unit was squared away. It was funny. My buddy went from Mass National Guard in our unit. He moved down to Tennessee, actually, to your neck of the woods,
Yeah,
and uh, he said Tennessee National Guard was the unit he got to was so unprofessional and not prepared.
let's see. I think they have two units down there. It's like the
Yeah,
287th, and
Do
then
you
there's another.
do you follow Tyler Butterworth on social media by any chance?
Tyler Butterworth.
The funny National Guard guy. He just makes stupid National Guard videos.
I probably do.
He has like 2 million views, followers. He has a big stupid mustache.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
He came into work yesterday
that's amazing.
or 2 days ago, a couple days ago, which is rather funny. He
Did
came in
you?
right as I was about to go on lunch, so he kept me from going on lunch, which whatever.
Did you ask for an autograph?
No, he's with his son. I didn't want to be a jerk about it.
That's fair.
He also came to Tank Farm, which is pretty cool though.
But yeah, he went to Tennessee National Guard, and then he went to 101st, and then he hated it even more at the 101st. So go figure.
Did he go active out of National Guard?
Yeah, because he wanted to go act. Now he's staying active. Now he's a recruiter. He's gone the recruiter path. So good luck to him.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I got out.
Gotta
Have fun
bump
with
those
that one, buddy.
I mean, I don't. It's funny because I have people ask me sometimes, like, should I join the military? And I'm like, I don't know. That's a personal decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I
not
like
gonna
being in the
influence
military,
that.
but I'm also like not being in the military.
Yeah, understandable. That's the vibe I've heard.
And National Guard
Whenever
was
I've talked with
fun, but
somebody who is in or is in, they're like, "Yeah, don't do it." I'm like, "Okay."
now
That's why.
if my secondary unit would have been a full time unit, I would have did that for sure. I would have stayed in to do that, which was the Seaburn unit that I was voluntold to do, and then I got the hazmat training that I got and did all that
Hmm.
jazz.
Yeah, I gotta love hazmat.
Yeah, I got pro board
Not really.
certified and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're pro board certified. Yeah, to be in that unit to be pro board certified. So they had guys from Texas A&M come up and give us a whole slew of
What was
tests.
the highest level that you had to?
Oh, operations, like it was operations hazmat, something like that certification.
See, I think now or recently how they've done it is
I can bring it up.
got let's see, you got operations, you got tech, and then you have specialists.
So we got. I
Because
can look up my certifications on the pro board website.
right now I have operations. That's one I have. That's like the bare minimum. That's just doing defensive stuff. Like you're not even. I
So I
mean,
got hazardous materials first responder at awareness level, hazardous materials
yeah.
first responder at core operations level, and then hazardous materials first responder at operations level with personal protective equipment mission specific competency.
Hmm,
Yeah, I'm not really going to use any of that information, but I did
right.
it.
Which, yeah, for my work, I have to have that because, well, for the
Oh yeah,
job I do, I guess. Yeah.
makes
So,
sense.
yeah, something happens, we're going to be the first ones thrown in there. Because we had that
Well,
train derailment a few
yeah. Well,
months ago. And we were 2 cars away from that being a really bad day. They had sent some blue canaries in there first. I don't know if you
you
know what
almost
I'm
had
talking.
a Palestine Ohio incident there going on.
It's
Yes.
funny. I know a guy, well, two people who actually work hazmat, and they work the East Palestine spill.
Jesus.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard that was
unfortunate
pretty
for
bad.
them.
I would have did it full time though. I'm not gonna lie. Like 74 Delta Seaburn specialist. I was on my list of like other jobs. Um, and I would have doing the what they call case was the unit. It's an acronym. It stands for like Casualty Assistance Support Element or something like that. I would have did that full time. I would have stayed in to do that. It was fun. It was different. It was we got to train with local fire departments and stuff. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Like we went and did this whole event where every fire department in the state and then a couple other states sent their hazmat crews to, and they would go through. They had a whole building that was like a destroyed building, and they would
War
extract.
zone.
And we would help them extract. We'd set up a barrier to make sure people can't get in. They had people that were like concerned citizens who were trying to get in. You had to like prevent them from getting in, and
Right.
yeah,
Which
all
is
that
like
kind of jazz.
which I'm sure with all the hazmat stuff, you got your hot zone, warm
Yep,
zone, and cold zone.
cold zone. Yep.
Decon was when I done the hazmat operations. Like decon was probably like one of the most interesting parts, I guess.
Oh
Having to
yeah,
set
yeah.
up.
We had to do. Yeah, you had to set it up. We were the guys that
Well,
set up the tents and shit. But
yep. So, well, we don't have anything that sophisticated, but um, when I done the training, like, they had us in level A suits and everything, and you had to go through a little obstacle course in a level A suit.
oh,
There was one section where they set up cones, or not cones, but barrels, and you had in the level A suit with the air pack on and everything, like you're breathing air. You had to go through and dribble a basketball around the barrels. Yeah, it was really stupid. And then another one was literally picking up change off the
oh
ground.
God.
Yes,
I don't even know how you
because
do
the
that.
dexterity in those suits are terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, it was painful to try to do this. Like, the guy would tell you have to pick up 54 cents off the ground, so you'd literally have to pick it up and
To
count it
count
off
it.
the ground. You had the exact amount. Yeah, it was stupid, but it was fun though to get to get to suit up and do it. We done it in October though, and it was still ungodly hot in those stupid suits. Like, I
Oh
absolutely hate,
yeah,
like, the level B suits aren't as bad, because
yeah.
they're
Level
not
B is not as
fully
bad.
enclosed. Yeah, it's not bad, but level A, like, you'll die.
We
You'll
did
die
we
for
did level B because we weren't supposed to be going into the hot zone. We were supposed to stay in the warm zone and help transfer,
the decon.
transport
Yeah,
stations and
yeah. If
stuff.
you're in warm, yeah, that's usually, yeah, that's how it goes. Like,
So we had
whoever was
Pappers on.
doing yeah, so whoever was doing decon was at least in a level B suit.
Yeah, and
So
then
you got
we
lucky if
we
you.
got trained. We got trained in A, but we were primarily in B. We had our own Pappers. We had the B suits,
B.
and we would, go through decon at the end and stuff. The thing that sucked the
Well,
most about doing that was you worked on a work schedule, which was, like 30 minutes on, 40 minutes off, or whatever it was. By the time you got undressed, you were pretty much almost getting redressed because the time to get through decon, and then you'd have to go back out there soon. Even though it was only a training exercise, it still was like, all right, just you just were,
can't I can't really think of which part is worse with the level A seat, like donning it or taking it off, because you always need help putting the stupid thing on. Like,
I'd say donning it
yeah,
because it's the
yeah, I agree.
beginning. You're
Because,
at the beginning of it. You're
well,
not going to be taking it off for a certain amount of time.
Well, we had a lot of people in my class, not just from where I work, but other departments as well. And so you were standing there waiting your turn. And
Yeah.
when it takes a while, it kind of sucks because you're just sitting there like in the suit, waiting to go on your turn. So
Did you
yeah,
guys
other than
wear?
suffering for that,
Did you guys go in your skivvies? Because we would just wear like our PT shorts and then a t-shirt, and then
no,
that's it.
no, no. Like, I'd be on shift at work, so I'd be in my uniform
Oh,
having to get in the stupid thing. Yeah, it's
they
terrible.
let us
Pants.
wear our PT shorts and t-shirts, so we were pretty much half
No,
naked in those things.
okay. Let me take this back. They let us take off our polos, shirts. So we had t-shirts and pants. That's as low as you could go. So
Yeah, it's a little bit better, I guess.
it's not great. I enjoyed it though. I mean, even now, like, after doing the hazmat stuff, like just driving down the highway, you see, which I don't know how much this applied to your training, but see a semi truck going down the highway that has a placard on it for
Oh
whatever,
yeah,
and I've got the ERG app on the phone, so I can just type in the number, the UN number on it, and it tells you
yep.
what it is. But most of the time, I've got I've got all the regular ones you see, like propane and
Fuel,
gasoline and
gas,
diesel,
yeah.
all those. Yeah, all those
What is
pretty
it? Is
much memorized.
gasoline 1993? Is that gasoline or
No, I want to. Gasoline is 1203.
1203? I can't remember anymore.
1993, I think, is propane.
Yeah,
I
okay,
want to.
yeah.
I want to say 1993 is propane and 1297 is diesel.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to learn all that stuff too. And I have the booklet
Yeah,
somewhere around here.
yeah, it turns into a lot of NFPA stuff too. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, with my department, the highest level hazmat we do is operations. So, like I said, defensive. The step above that is the county EMA, and I think I think we only have like 3 or 4 specialists in the county, I guess, and then you have quite a few techs under that, and then your bottom of the barrel operations. So we do the very minimum, I guess.
Oh
You're doing
yeah, I
like
mean,
doing like diversion and stuff like that. Where you set up the pigs and stuff, to divert spills and stuff like that. That's basically all you can do at operations. Can't really go in deep into the hot zone unless you're under supervision of a tech or something.
yeah, and for us it was the same way where it was like we were just bodies to make sure things get done. That was like they
Yeah,
needed tents
that's
set
that.
up, they needed people for lifting, for setting up fencing and stuff to prevent people from getting into the warmer hot zone. That's what we were there for. We didn't do anything like crazy.
Mainly security, pretty much.
Yeah. Security without guns too. We were not allowed to be
Yeah,
armed.
Really?
Yeah, we got a whole training on how to de-escalate with our words and our body language.
It's
They're like, you're not gonna
crazy.
get armed. They're like, you don't get armed. You're gonna have to, if you need a gun, you're gonna have to find a cop because you're not gonna be able to carry a gun in this situation.
Usually, well, with the derailment we had back in May, it was funny because I don't know what happened, but the dispatch they sent the police department first, and the protocol is the fire department gets dispatched to a hazmat incident or a derailment first, and so we sat there probably for about 10 minutes, and captain he finally phones over to dispatch. He's like, "Are you gonna send us to that or not?" And until he finally did, we show up there. And there's like 6 cops standing there. It's like, guys, we step back from a second and we think about this. If this actually would have turned into something, all these people would have been dead. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's all it would have been. So that's where the blue canary thing comes from. It's if you show up and there's a bunch of cops laying on the ground, you kind of
You
it's
kind
a
of
bad,
know.
situation. So
It might be time to put
luckily,
your mask on.
well, it was just funny though because it was literally like well, say a few, but a lot of train cars had came off the tracks, derailed, and just behind the last one that came off the tracks, there's 2 cars. I can't remember what they were now, which they weren't supposed to be together anyway. For some reason, that was a mess up on somebody else's end, but there were 2 cars right next to each other, just behind that last one. And if those dudes would have came off, it would have been a completely different story. And from what I remember, because it was a CSX line, and from what I remember, I think it cost them like 20 million or something to clean the whole thing up before it was over. I mean, they had crews in before the end of the day. They were replacing track and everything. Like they had cranes come in, move the rail cars and all that. It was a whole crazy. It was really awesome to see. I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy. So that's the closest I've came to experiencing an actual hazmat incident.
Luckily, I never had that call because if we got called, that means bad things have happened.
Yeah, yeah. So it was. So some of the guys I were working with, they're like, "This has literally never happened here before," and it had to be on our shift. It's just one of those kind of things. Just the irony in it, I guess. That all the bad, like unfortunate stuff, just happens when I happen to be on shift. So it's just one of those things.
I mean, that's how it goes. I mean, not to bring up a sadder event, but 9/11 is exactly that, right? All those guys that probably clocked out just to go home, and then that happens. It's like, holy crap,
It's
you know.
crazy, dude. Like that, like that whole thing. That's like a not to get off on a tangent here, but those guys. That's a real inspiration for me. Something to live up to. Not ever going to be remotely close to. That's kind of what I aspire to. So. Uh,
No, I think it's not off topic because we're 10 days away from another anniversary of it and stuff, and I'm in the same boat you are, where it's. I mean, you're actually a firefighter, so you're doing it, you're living it. But I mean, I always wanted to be a firefighter, and 9/11 was a huge had a huge effect on me because it's something that I always wanted to do. I just I don't know, I just never did it. I guess I did the National Guard instead, and I just never got did that. But
well, well, I mean, people like to romanticize it, which don't get me wrong, man. I could talk about. I don't want to, but I could talk about it all day long. But a lot of people romanticize it, and it's not. Just like I don't really want to compare it, apples to apples, but because it's not the same experience. But like for the military, for example, you have your good and bad experiences, and that's just with any job, especially something high stress like that.
yeah,
But it's I enjoy it. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a good job, and I think yeah we're getting close to it. What was it like? Yeah, 10 or 11 days from now, I guess.
well,
And
technically,
so
yeah,
the
it's 10
closest,
days because it's September 1st now.
yeah. So usually, which this year I'm gonna try to do the stair and the stair climb. Yeah,
And turn out
you do
gear and
the
stuff.
yeah that whole thing. They do one in Knoxville every year, so I'm gonna try to go to that one this year. I've been talking to some other guys I work with. We're gonna try to round up a posse and go do that, but I'm definitely gonna have to get some practice in before I do that because the closest thing I come to that is there's a apartment building close by to the station I'm assigned to, and we get alarms there like almost every single day. It's always somebody burning food or something like that. But it's always has to be on the fourth floor, so you have to go
Yeah.
all. You're not supposed to take the elevator, so you always go up the fourth floor. You have to 4 flights of stairs to get up to the top of this thing, just for just for that. But it's a good workout. Come in and meemaws, burn their hot dogs or something like that. It's like, well, you ever thought about opening a window before you set off the alarm in this place? So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's about the most excitement I
It's
get out
crazy
of
to
that.
think too. Like 4 stories is insane to run up in all that gear, and these guys did it 4 times or 20 times that.
20 times, yeah,
That's
crazy.
insane. And it's one of the reasons why I'm not a firefighter is because I know I can't do it. I know I physically can't do it. I did the National Guard. I was not exactly. They always say that you can either gonna be a strong ranger or you're gonna be a smart ranger. I was definitely not a strong ranger, so I know that I'm not cut out for that job, and I think that's just being realistic. But um,
I mean,
it's a tough job.
well, when it's intense, yes, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I just feed off of that. Like, high tense situation, everyone's running around screaming all that. And I don't know, it's great. Like it puts some, you pump some adrenaline, doing
Oh
stuff
yeah.
like that. And it's plus you just, you roll up in the fire truck looking cool. Everybody's just standing out there that's already evacuated out of the building, just looking at you. So like we're showing up to save the day, but it's not really. I don't really want to say it's like that. We just show up and say, "All right, you can turn the alarm off now.
Well, I always think about when
Everything is fine."
I was working in my building and we had a fire alarm go off and the firefighter showed up and there was smoke, but it wasn't smoke. It was like some coolant had spilt and it was giving off vapors and
Yep.
it set off the alarm and stuff. And I was like, hey, there's stuff down there. And afterwards, the firefighters like, there's no need to fire. This is boring. They were so
Yeah.
disappointed because they're like, we finally got one because they could see the like white smoke billowing out of the. They're like,
we got
we finally
we
got
got
one,
a
boys.
worker. Yeah, I've
And
been
it
there
was just
before.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
was
We
like,
pull out like we pull out like we're thinking we got a worker or something and show up. It's
well,
always
it's
like that with
like
the fast.
it's 96% of your guys' calls are not fires. That's the official stat,
Well, thing is, like, I don't
or
want
at
to
least
be this
average.
guy to say it, but it's well, fire service anymore is pretty much glorified EMS at this point. I mean, let's
Yeah,
just be real. And since I hadn't really before I got my EMR really able to do a whole lot before then calls. Like I can hand people stuff or basic first aid and CPR. That's all I could do then. But which having the license is great, I guess. But now it comes with like doing reports and stuff like that, which I absolutely hate doing reports. I'll just go ahead and
yeah.
put that out there. I hate doing
I was gonna say
paperwork,
this
but
is growing up. As you grow in the department or job, you become more responsible for things. One of the reasons why I got out of the military is like I don't want to be an NCO. I don't want to do paperwork. You know?
it's not saying like you're not capable of doing it either. Like,
Yeah.
you can
I
do it.
don't.
It's just
I don't know if I would be a good NCO. I'm not exactly a tough on people kind of guy, so I don't know if I could get on people to get the job done. I don't know.
which yeah, I guess it just depends what approach you'd have with people
Because I
based
saw
off
good
of that.
NCOs and I saw bad NCOs. And some of the bad NCOs got results, but the wrong kind of results. And then the good NCOs sometimes didn't get results because they were, I mean,
Too laid
our,
back.
yeah, and some of them it's funny because my platoon sergeant when I first got to the unit, who became our first sergeant really quickly, and then he became the sergeant major for the battalion, um, command sergeant major. He was a firefighter, really good guy, had his own CrossFit gym or has his own CrossFit gym, still a great guy. He was the pinnacle of leadership. Like he deployed to Afghanistan. He is the sergeant of yeah, he. When I think of a sergeant, he's I think about. But once he was gone, once he was our command sergeant major of the battalion, and he wasn't in direct control. Not that the NCOs that took over weren't great, but platoon sergeant wise, it changed. It just wasn't the same. we lost our section sergeant, who was kind of our acting platoon sergeant for a lot of time. He went somewhere else. He was a little bit of a crazy dude, but he was just a fantastic leader. Um,
I feel like, which it applies to, I guess, any job like that. You work in teams, is you lose some cohesion.
yeah,
When people like that go, and it's hard. It's hard to get that back or maintain that. It's the same thing with my job. If somebody moves somewhere else that's in a position of leadership, that would really change things a lot.
yeah,
In my
yeah.
case, not for the good. If things like that changed right now, so
No, and it was especially with losing the command sergeant major when he left the unit, the company, to become a battalion level asset. It was like he cared about us. He cared about treating us right, making sure we were taken care of. But he also cared about standards and making sure like we were meeting standards, and how he approached things was a lot more efficiently than some other unit leadership. And like especially with the toe. Not to bring up the toe, I know it's me, but he was a big proponent of the toe, and he knew how to use the toe. He knew how to like employ it. The toe is one of those assets that is unfortunately not used correctly by the army. Sometimes it's sometimes overlooked. I remember having conversations with guys saying, "I don't understand why we even have the toe. We have the javelin." Not understanding the advantage of the toe in a defensive situation, offensive situation, um, and he was a big proponent of it. He was constantly him and there was a lieutenant. I can't remember his name, but there was a lieutenant in my unit that was also he became a captain. He's probably higher now, but another great dude. Lots of deployment. I think he started off as Marines, enlisted, went to got his college degree, went to became an officer, joined the National Guard. He was a great guy. Also, big proponent of the toe, like huge influence on me. It's funny how like that's the one thing I can always say to people when you join the military is that like you're gonna get good leadership, but you're also gonna get bad leadership. That's just
well,
gonna happen.
yeah, with that's just how it is. Different
Yeah,
people, everyone has a different style of leadership. So
and some guys are gonna know. Like for me, being the type of guy I am, where I'm not really a physical kind of guy, but I am fairly smart. I was pretty good with the toe. Those leaders knew how to use me as a
yeah,
weapon and put me in the place. But then when they got replaced, the guys that replaced them didn't see the
starting
utility
over
of
again.
me.
Right.
Yeah,
So you're
and
starting from scratch again. They don't know what they have to work with.
then they make the great decision of going, okay, we don't want you to be a tow gunner anymore. You're now going to be a driver. And the last like 6 months of my career was being a driver, even though normally in a heavy weapons company, especially that's mounted like we were, drivers, you're like that's your first position. You start as a driver, you go gunner, and
Right.
then you
That
go
makes
truck
sense.
commander.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
most basic position. You work your way up.
Technically, the most basic is window licker. It's the guy sitting in the back not
Yeah.
doing anything. But
Not doing it. That is true. I forgot about that. That is
yeah,
the
yeah,
window licker.
we
Yeah.
call them
I
window
forgot we
lickers.
had that.
But
I forgot we had that conversation before about the window
yeah,
lickers. That's right.
yeah. Then you go to driver, and then you go to gunner, and then you go to truck commander. And I had done all the positions. I had been a truck commander for like 10 seconds, and when they needed me to be, but I finally made gunner, and I don't brag, but I was a good tow gunner. I was good with the system. I knew the system pretty inside and out. And um, for my platoon sergeant, like, nah, you're gonna be a driver now, and then not have me train the guys below me who were new and didn't know the system is just
Right. They just get
insane to
thrown
me.
into it.
Yeah, and then be like, you're not allowed to train. Basically, said I wasn't allowed to train them, and I'm like, I have all this knowledge. I went to two
Have the
courses in
experience.
tow.
Yeah. That just sounds like a wasted.
Yeah, I spent 5 days. I had to take 5 days off of work to go to a tow retrain because we got the software update for the M40 4180A7, which they did some improvements on it, and they sent us to a retrain, and I didn't get used at all on that. Like that knowledge, that 5 days I spent on that course that I took away from work, that I missed saying goodbye to my grandfather because he had passed away that week,
Yeah.
was for nothing. It was for absolutely nothing. It's my only gripe with the military that I have directly was that I had a job. I had a goal. When I joined, my recruiter said, "Hey, you could be a tow gunner." And I was like, Oh,
That's what I want
I
to
could just I could just be that. And they're like, yeah, this is after obviously 11 Hotel doesn't exist anymore. Back in the day, you literally could be 11 Hotel, which was anti-tank infantry. But he was like, I was from this company. You can go and be a tow gunner if I set you up with this company. And I was like, that sounds awesome. That's why I joined, because my recruiter convinced me to be a tow gunner. And lo and behold, I became a tow gunner. I was,
Right, right. So like, yeah,
yeah.
this isn't so bad now.
And then at the last year that I was in to get downgraded to a driver, I was like, all right, well, this is fun. I don't, it's
Man,
just like
I
such a
feel,
kick in the pants.
yeah, I feel like I'd be in the same boat with you there. I'd just be really disappointed.
I love the tow. I had fun. I always had fun using the tow, and I just it was a system that like I said, I went to 2 train ups for it. I only fired 3 rounds. I've only got 3 live rounds in my belt because just the happenstance of training. Had I stayed in, I might have got another couple rounds in because one of the last tow shoots was like right around the time I was getting out, and I was already like usually 3 months out from your ETS date. You turn your gear in and you're just kind of done. You don't do those months. You're just kind of considered a write
You're
off.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
so I
not
didn't go
to
to the last tow shoot.
yeah, I guess not to get back, not really trying to get back to the fire department topic, but just to compare a little bit. I guess you could say I'm a window licker in that aspect. Usually I'm in the back jump seat, which a lot of those things are it's similar.
Yeah.
It just puts me in the same mindset. So yeah, I'm a window licker.
No,
So
and it's
I'm in the back. Yeah.
everyone's got to start somewhere. So like I started off as a window licker, and the only difference is that when I got to my unit in 2014, great Sergeant Tempesta, I'll name him because he was good. He was a good dude. It's funny because him and there was Sergeant Stiv who was a firefighter for Boston of all things. Pretty good
Yes.
sergeants. Sergeant Stiv was a little funny, but still a good sergeant. And Sergeant Tempesta was like, you know what? You look like you'd be good on the tow. It's funny. The minute I got there, like you look like you'd be good on the tow. And my first drill was our annual training, our 2 week annual training. That was my first drill at my unit. So I show up and it's like I'm gonna go away for 2 weeks with these guys I don't even know. And Sergeant Tempest is like, I'm gonna train you on the tow. So I was already like getting on the tow when we weren't doing missions, simulated missions. I was in the Humvee messing around with the tow, and he was running me through all the programs and all the buttons and make sure I understand it. So it's funny for me, like I was a window licker, but like I was already being trained to do something. Although I passed out so many times in the Humvee from the fumes. They kept finding me just
Yeah.
knocked out in the back. So I was a drooling window licker, if anything. They'd wake me up and I'd be like, "What's going on? Where am I?" And they're like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "I don't know.
What is happening right now?
I have a massive headache. I don't know what's going on. I think my brain cells have
Oh
been
man.
destroyed."
I mean, I've never been in or around a Humvee, so I can't really speak to any of that.
Oh, this was so when I first got to the unit, we had original unup armored Humvees, so we had the original Humvees,
Yeah.
and like ours had
Soft
the
skins.
yeah, yeah, soft skins. And ours had which would, by the way, the soft skins are kind of nice because the doors don't weigh 400 pounds. They're easier to open. They also latch correctly. But our front passenger, the truck commander seat, there's a hole in the floor. You can see the road when you're driving. Um,
Oh man,
he, some of the
awesome.
turrets wouldn't turn 360. They would get stuck. The ball bearings, would just get stuck. So
Man.
you'd have
Yeah.
limited movement on them. They were pieces of crap, but because of that, like just the fumes from the engine were just coming into the cab. You were
Oh
just
man.
sucking it in.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh
and I was
gosh.
just
I hate
passing out constantly.
that. It's like you think about it now, it's like, man, how many brain cells did I lose just being
And
in
I
these
had to
things?
do push-ups for it. Every time I fell asleep, it was, hey, you fell asleep, you got to do push-ups. I had to do 20 push-ups every time I fell asleep.
Oh man. So yeah, so double punishment. It's a double
Yeah, so
whammy.
I'd get there. We would get to we were setting an ambush. I fell asleep driving to the ambush, and I say fall asleep. I'm pretty sure I just was unconscious from the fumes. You get to the ambush point, and then my sergeant it was Sergeant Stiv was just like, hey, you got to do push-ups because you fell asleep. I'm like, all right. He's like, you don't look too good though, and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel good. He's like, all right, well, lay down for a little bit in the back of the Humvee, and then you can do your push-ups. So
My God, how's this man gonna have the strength to fight the war after
yeah, exactly. I was just
doing
like,
all these years?
there's so many moments
Man,
like that though, where I was
that's
just like,
crazy.
I don't know what I'm
I mean,
doing.
I guess looking back on that, that's a really funny story, but to actually experience that would probably really suck.
Oh,
So
I'm not
I'm
gonna
glad
lie.
you have that as a
I had fun. I most of the miserableness of the military, I had fun because after the fact, you're just like, whatever, it happened. You just embrace the suck. You just kind of deal with it. Um, the stuff that really sucked was like that's why I like Case so much because doing the Seaburn stuff, and even though I was wearing the level B stuff and having to deal with like a belligerent actor who was being belligerent for acting reasons,
yeah.
it was fun. It was stupid, but it was fun. But the stupid stuff was the like later on in my career, the battalion going, you know what, infantry shouldn't be in barracks. They should always have to sleep in the field. So they banned us from using barracks. That was a good move. Thanks, battalion.
Yeah, I say that definitely raised the morale. Yeah, you guys got to sleep on the ground.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like my tent.
You guys aren't real ground pounders unless you're
Yeah,
sleeping on it.
that's what they said though. They were like, you guys aren't real infantry unless you're sleeping on the dirt. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. So we just never got showers basically, which sucked.
Man,
So
that's crazy.
I I'm not gonna lie. Even sleeping in the field, I was fine. I didn't get it. We had tents. We had the individual combat shelter, which is a great tent. Actually, it's really great. It's just a little bit of a pain to set up. But for the first like 2 years that I was in my unit, I just never got it. They just didn't issue it to me. So I just did the old. I slept on the ground in my sleeping bag with my poncho pulled over my head, so if it rained, I didn't get totally soaked.
Right,
And
right.
it worked. It worked.
Yeah,
Those tents though are great. I can't. Two things the army got right: the poncho liner, the whoopee, and the
yep.
individual combat tent. The whoopee is the greatest thing the army ever got. I know Logan, who's muted right now, loves the wool blanket, but the
Yeah,
whoopee is the greatest
I was just
thing.
letting you guys talk. I love the wool blanket.
I know you love the wool, but the whoopee is the
I
greatest thing
sleep
the army ever
under the
did.
wool blanket every night because it's a very good lightweight blanket.
I sleep under the whoopee every night, so
Here's the problem with the whoopee, okay? It
there's no
traps
problems. It's
moisture.
perfect.
The wool is naturally hydrophobic, and so even if it's soaking wet, I think the statistic is that it retains up to 80% of its insulating
Hey, it's 2024.
ability.
Hydrophobic isn't okay anymore.
Sorry, I'm a hydrophobe.
I don't
No,
know.
but
I get it, but the whoopee for me, I don't know. In the
I
field,
will
it was always
say
great.
the wool blanket is much harder to pack and carry than a whoopee is.
Yeah,
And if you need a compact, easy to carry, insulating blanket, then definitely a poncho liner is the way to go.
I still use the whoopee to this day. I've been using it ever since I got back from basics.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It both of them have their benefits. I just love the wool blanket because of reasons.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I also agree
It's
the whoopee can
comfy.
get too hot indoors, but I don't know. I always loved it. It's comfortable in the skin. Doesn't bother me.
I guess this
I
gets
my
to the
problem with
point.
the whoopee is that if the whoopee ever got like dew on it at an event, at least for me, I'd like have it sitting on top of my ruck and it would get dewy and I'd try to sleep in it and it just felt wet, especially against bare skin. It was so unbelievably uncomfortable.
Well, see, that's your first problem. You let it get dewy.
Well, yeah, I am aware of that. However, I'm saying if it does get dewy,
You just
then
don't let
there's a
that
risk.
happen. I don't know what you're talking.
Okay, Mr. Infantryman, sleep on ground.
I was just gonna say every morning when I woke up and it was just wet because the dew, but
Yes, Army did get the smoker's jacket, if you mean the M65 liners. Both the pant and jacket liners were a universally issued thing. I think I think that the jacket liner is more utilitarian than the would be in the sense that wear it, you can actively wear it under a
yeah,
blouse. You
that's
don't
fair.
need to wear a big jacket, and you can hide it underneath your blouse. And if you've never worn a BDU with a jacket liner underneath, you should do that because it is really cozy and it's a good like intermediate um, cold weather alternative.
It's also better. It's funny because the modern day like extreme the cold weather system there, the expanded or whatever the hell it's called. Um,
Yeah, that junk.
the
Equids.
waffle, yeah, the waffle is great, but you have to take off your jacket and you have to pull it over, and it's really warm, but it's not as easy to get off. Like I feel like the M65 liner is just so much more simple. I had guys in my unit that bought the M65 liner to wear because it was
You
just
commonly
better.
see field mods at the time where guys would sew or have a tailor sew buttons into like an RDF or a BDU top in order to wear the liners on them.
Yeah, I can see that being nice.
Especially Air Force. Air Force like to tailor the shit out of their stuff, especially RDF. So
Yeah,
like if
Air
they
Force.
could tailor it to them and then throw buttons on it to wear a liner, they would do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I wish that the BDU trousers came default with buttons inside for the pant liners because the M65 pants are so bulky and uncomfortable to wear long term. And if I could just slide the liners into my trousers, it would be so much better.
Yeah, that would have made more sense too, honestly.
Yeah, because when I first got into this, that's what I thought you could do. I thought you could just slide them into a pair of BDU trousers. I didn't even know that the M65 and M51 system even existed at that point.
And it's funny too because you don't really see the 65 pants being used that
Yeah,
often.
dudes just wore Seapogs.
Yeah, because well, that's because ask my dad about that. That was just he said every time they went to a training exercise, it was all right. Break out your chemical suits.
Yeah, they
You're
just
gonna
straight up
wear it.
wore their fucking their Seaburns. I just swore, dadgummit. It's getting late and I've been drinking. Well, my apologize, children of watching and stream. Point is,
Yeah, I was gonna say who's
yes,
watching this at 1 a.m. That's a kid.
Well,
they
10 of
just
our
break out
viewers.
they just break out the Seapog.
Yeah,
Especially was it Reforger 80 or whatever, I don't remember which Reforger it was, but they're all like working on fording a stream and they're all wearing their Seapogs.
yeah, and it's also just like it didn't matter if it was like he did Forger 87, but he also was just in Texas. They would just be like, all right, we're going on training op. Break out your
Yeah.
CPOGs. Well, it's a chemical suit, but like and just wear it.
I love the M65 parka too. I adore the entire M65 system. Everything made with the M65 designation is like the greatest thing ever. I love the jacket. I love the trousers. I love the parka so much.
Yeah, jacket's definitely a winner.
I know we don't got anything like
The
that anymore.
jacket, I have mine patched up, so it has my last name and the tapes and the leadership tabs and the lieutenant rank pins, and it looks so good. It's such a vibe with like the green leadership tabs on the shoulder boards. Oh,
Hate to be that. Yeah, I'm gonna dip out of here. Gotta work.
I was just saying you got to get up early, you go to work. So
Yeah, it's fun talking. So,
well,
all
thanks
right,
for stopping
adios.
by.
guess I'm going.
Have a good night.
And then there was two. Graham couldn't make it, so unfortunate.
Well, I will stick around as long as you're doing this stupid thing.
I don't know how long I'm gonna go because I didn't really have a plan for this. I was just like, you know what, I need to do a stream for the 1,000 subs.
Hey man, like I said, I got nothing going on tomorrow. Well, I mean, my girlfriend's coming over later, but that'll be in the evening.
But you still got
I
the
think she finally crashed too.
oh really?
She was watching for a while and then she just stopped responding. I'm like, okay, yeah, she fell asleep.
Probably when you stopped talking was like, all right, this has got less interesting. It's just two random dudes talking
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about hazmat and firefighters
I
and
can't wait for it to get colder though, because I want to break out all the cold weather kits I wasn't able to wear for like, the majority of the year.
yeah, that's fair.
Team Spirit and Oriental Shield and the second 505th training in New York after Urgent Fury and all those other fun kits I haven't done yet.
I just wish I had a good place to film
I
outdoor
just
stuff.
wish I could find white bunny boots in my size.
Now that's impossible.
Or even like I can fit size 11s. I just need a pair. I don't have any. I have black. I have the Mickey Mouse boots, but no um bunny boots.
Yeah, the bunny boots. The price alone is what keeps me from getting them.
Well, it sucks because nobody wore the black ones.
I know. Well, the black ones are pretty much not useless, but because of the rating for the bunny boots, it like if you're wearing the boots, it's got to be really cold because they're not good boots.
Yeah.
Like they're not comfortable. They're not like they remind me of the hazmat boots that we wore, where it was just they're out there. It's just the price of them. It's
Hmm.
people want too much for them for for what they are. I'm not spending $200 on a pair of for bunny boots. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the cost is ridiculous.
That's true too. The dry rotted. A lot of the times they're just like peeling apart.
Yeah.
But I don't have any
Yeah,
place
I've
to
been
put them
I've been able
outside
to
anyway.
find them.
So
I'm just not spending $250 on a pair of boots. I'm sorry. I already do that for World War II footwear. I am not stooping that low for Cold War.
especially for something that's still technically aren't bunny boots still technically made?
I think there's a variation of them that's still made. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
the exact model, although, yeah, they're
It,
still being used.
so it's like I don't know. I just yeah, I'm with you. 250, $200. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Maybe one day I'll cave. I mean, the thing is, we don't really do any events in the winter, so the only thing I'd be using them for would be like taking LARP pics in the backyard, and it's like, well, I mean, for that much
Well,
money.
yeah. Well, that's the problem for me is it's like I don't have any good place to film where I don't have to worry about I don't yeah, see still standard issue. See, we got goofball
Standard
for fact
issue
checking.
unaltered. Good lord.
Yeah. Hey,
10th
if it's not
Mountain
broke, don't fix
and
it.
the 10th Mountain Goblin up all those boots.
But it's not worth it from like a especially for me. You at least do stuff. I don't leave my basement. So
Right. Yeah, I could
I
never
would
be like
love
a dedicated collector. It's just not my thing.
my goal, my dream goal is to be able to do some photographs at Natick Labs because the all their photos are pretty much taken. There's a little peninsula right next to Natick that's like where they did all their photographs for. I'd love to take photos there, but it is behind a fence. You'd have to get permission.
Hmm.
I'd love to be able to recreate some of the photos that they did. Cause I can
Yeah,
go and I can take a photo from across the lake or pond. I can't remember if it's a pond or a lake, but I can take a photo of Natick Labs from across the pond. Not far,
that's cool.
but I'd have to get permission to do anything beyond that.
I wish we could do more cold weather events. The problem is if I can't find bunny boots, then nobody else could find bunny boots, and you got to have everybody have stuff to do, every a unit thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the problem you're gonna run into is
I
if
mean, it
they
doesn't help that nobody wants to buy leather boots to begin with, or can't
yeah
find them anywhere. I mean, the first step of doing anything temperate or cold weather is getting leather boots, but
or anything in Germany.
yeah, exactly. I still can't find my proper pair. My boots right now, well, they're right here. Hold on. They're the size is ridiculous. They're 12 and a half extra wide, and I'm a 13 regular, so I'm swimming in these things.
That's crazy.
They look like bunny boots with how big they are on me. It's so stupid. I cannot find 13 regs anywhere.
Get clown shoes.
So if anybody ever finds 13 regular Ripple soles
You know how
for
to go to.
under $80, let me know. Please, I beg of you.
You're gonna get like people are like, here's I found some for $175.
Die. Just
No.
instantly dissolve. That's
That's
awful.
why I wish you guys could do some of the events up here because like Battle for the Airfield is World War II, so you can't. They don't. No one really does Cold War stuff in cold environments. It's now that
Yeah.
like everything always happens, and I know why. It's because you can plan for temperate weather better than you can for like especially up here for winter weather, so it makes sense. But they do like the Centuries of Soldier, whatever the heck it's called at Heritage Museum, and they go from like Roman to Vietnam. Be great if you guys could do 80s. I mean, maybe Cole's group will do that, but
Well, we always had so many freaking jungle exercises and operations during that time period too. It's like we weren't really doing a lot in the cold unless it was a training exercise.
yeah, but those are the best times though.
Yeah, I know. It's just most
Reforger
people
is the ultimate, like all the Reforgers, the ultimate like vibe.
most people are gonna recognize though, like, oh, Panama, Grenada.
I don't even think people recognize Grenada because people
I
get
know people recognize Panama,
Panama
mainly
gets
because it's more recent. Grenada,
yeah.
no. Grenada is most people ask us if we're Panama at events, actually.
I was gonna say Panama. The Grenada photos always get mistaken for Panama, so people don't like
If someone posts the picture of the two
the
guys
guys.
in its second to 325th assaulting Little Havana and calls it the Marines in Panama one more time, I am going to kill myself.
Yeah, I also like that's another thing where it's like I might be wrong, but how much use did the Marines get during Panama?
Um, that's a good question. I don't actually remember entirely. I haven't studied Panama in forever because my hyper focus has been Grenada,
Well, because I
but
feel like the Fifth Infantry, you have the Fifth Infantry, you have obviously the 82nd and the Seventh. Like
yeah,
who? I don't know.
the
And then
Rangers
Rangers.
too.
Rangers are like the because I see a lot of photos. For some reason, people think Rangers are Marines. That happens sometimes too. I'm like, no, no,
Oh, in Grenada?
no. In Panama specifically.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, I see it come up.
There's a guy on Reddit who posted a picture, actually from a guy I know, Chuck Holton, was with the 75th Ranger Regiment. He's a family friend. He posted pictures like looking for information on 75th Ranger kit, and the guy commented, "Those guys aren't Rangers, those are 7th Infantry." I'm like, brother, the picture is literally from Chuck Holton's article talking about his time in the Ranger Regiment in
In the
Panama.
Rangers.
Like, come on
Yeah,
now.
yeah. They would. I get it. In Panama, I get it. The Rangers wore Manchu hair, so they look the same as Seventh on the surface, I guess. But it's it doesn't take long to see scrolls on the sleeves to be like, oh, those aren't Seventh.
Well, Aaron pointed out that they had scrolls and he got downvoted.
Oh my
So,
god.
Lord knows.
Ah, that's annoying. It's the same thing with like it's yeah, that's yeah. Because at least with Grenada, it's easy to tell. That's the crazy part about it. People get it wrong all the time, and I know you guys deal with it, but it's like Grenada is the easiest way to identify if they're 82nd because they're the only unit on the island that have Pasgets. Everyone else is not going to have a
Well,
Pasget.
and it's always Reddit because another guy was like, "Well, I've seen pictures of both Marines wearing both." And it's like, no, they weren't. If you
No,
saw a picture of a guy wearing a Pasget, he's airborne.
exactly. And it's like he may have a vest. Marines had Pasget vests, but they did not have helmets.
Yeah, and it helps to
It
identify them because practically all the Marines were also wearing leather boots. And while
yeah,
some of the guys in the 82nd were wearing leathers, the rule was jungle, but most of the Marines had the leather boots on.
yeah, and it's just like it doesn't take. I mean, it takes a little bit of research to find out the procurement pattern of like the Pasget, but like the 82nd got it first, and you're talking about like 83 is when the first contract was issued. So a lot of the 82nd guys are using the prior contract, which was the like, can they build these helmets in the first place
Well,
contract? So it's
because they
like,
had gotten issued in before 82.
yeah, exactly. So they had pre-contract issued helmets. So it's like that's why they have them. They're the test bed for, and mostly because of parachute operations, you know.
Yeah,
But
because it is originally intended. Like, isn't it the title parachutist helmet?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it was, well, yeah, because it's supposed to be like specific, and then the M1 was supposed to be your general purpose kind of thing. That was gonna get dropped real quick. I mean, Natick Labs is like all over the place with what they want. That's why the helmets are all painted camos because they're trying to sell the idea of camo kind of thing. It's a vibe, but
yes, the M1 will be our general purpose helmet. Actually, we've learned from Grenada and casualties that having Kevlar on your head is probably a good idea.
yeah. And then they went from there. But I mean, it's funny because we knew in Vietnam that the M1 needed. It's funny when you talked about the M1 earlier, like looking at the attempts to replace the M1 or bare minimum make the M1 better by making it titanium or there's some other attempts at materials, but the Pasget and its long development took the cake.
Well, Kevin in the chat talking about how Pasget helmets and M1 helmets survive. I find it very funny how the 505th had their vests for the first day, and you can tell it's the 505th because they have not only the scrim but also the glint tape over their the Pasget shoulder flap,
Oh
and
yeah,
then literally after day one they all dropped them
I don't blame them.
because if I recall correctly, the 2 through 25th tried like climbing a small hill nearby and like half of the guys heat cased. You're like, ah, yes, maybe wearing heavyweight temperate uniforms and a sweat trapping vest is not the greatest idea on a
I
jungling
know.
island.
You know, it's
Not
crazy to
jungler.
think about though. Is then we invade a desert island, a desert country, and we wear even more gear with even more weight, and it's like,
Well, at least it's dry heat. It's not humid
yeah,
like
that's
Grenada
true.
is.
That's true. But it still sucks though. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
wearing wearing you know, IBA with plates.
I really a video I want to make on the 18th Airborne Corps account is a video talking about all the tropes and bad stereotypes of the 1980s when it comes to the U.S. Army or just the military in general. Like the
Yeah,
biggest ones I can think of right off the bat: flax,
high fact.
IFAKs, butt packs.
I see. I want to make
Yep.
a butt pack just to make all you guys mad.
I like the only see. It's more acceptable to wear a butt pack in Panama, but only if you're
Yeah.
82nd. Like the 7 did not wear them at all.
Well,
And then you have, huh?
I was gonna say I want to make a butt pack thing because I think it depends. Because being part of other Discord servers that talk about Seventh Infantry, I think it is a little bit too much. And this is just my own critique, so you can tear it apart if you want. But I think sometimes some guys jump on that there isn't any butt packs, but it really depends on what. Panama Seventh not that common. Seventh any time during training had butt packs up the wazoo.
Yeah, Calfex.
Calfax, Team Spirit, they have quite a few of them. Have them. I mean,
I mean, it
it's
makes more sense for training, definitely,
or
too,
Golden
especially
Pheasant
because they
even.
were originally intended for training.
Yeah, well, yeah. But even Golden Pheasant, a lot of the seventh guys have 61 packs on, and it makes sense for the seventh infantry also because they are this like prototype light infantry, like supposed to be this thing. I don't know. I'm not sure what the army was thinking of in the 80s, but like it kind of makes sense from that concept because we had butt packs when I was in, but they were dumb and useless.
I mean, the stupid thing about the butt pack is that there's no easy way to access your gear without removing your entire
Your
LBE with
gear.
the butt pack attached.
Yeah.
Um, and it's also it makes you larger when you have to sit in a vehicle, which if you're mechanized light infantry is not
Defeats the
very
point.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the 82nd has a lot of actually more than I initially realized in Panama, more butt packs than I initially realized. The 7th practically zero. Then in
Yeah.
Grenada we have like I think a single picture of a dude
I
wearing
think
one, and
I
I
think
have no
Eric
idea
said
why.
there's like two, but I never seen the other photo. But I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy walking down the road.
Yeah, and he's got a 61 pack on. It's like hanging
Yep,
off of him. Yeah,
probably has nothing in it anyway.
but it's funny too because like as an infantryman, I totally understand wanting to have now modern day. You don't need to have a butt pack. You just carry a lightweight or an assault pack. You just would have an assault pack on you if you really needed it. But back then, I totally get the need for a butt pack because you can carry stuff that, especially with like I think of like the 82nd and anyone not Rangers during that time frame. No one used the grenade vest. They all relied on bandoliers
Yeah,
for some reason, and then for some reason the Rangers are like, no, bandoliers are so old school. We're gonna rely on this new grenade vest. I I don't understand the Rangers during Grenada, but um, M1 helmets, tropical uniforms, and grenade vests.
and that one guy with an XM148 too, like bro.
You don't know how much I wanted to buy one
Oh, the
if I was
VSC ones. Yeah, no, I
yeah
want to as well.
specifically to bring it to Gettysburg if I was going to go to Gettysburg.
Oh hell yeah.
But I ran out of money, so I couldn't do that. And then obviously Gettysburg didn't happen for
From what
for
I've
other
heard,
reasons.
the bandoliers are easier to pack into a rucksack when you're doing airborne ops,
That
and
makes sense.
you can carry more of them because you can stack them more easily, as opposed to
Yeah,
the nylon, which isn't very easy to compact. The whole airborne thing, obviously, is jump light, fight light, and honestly, they're probably more of a light fighting unit than the 7th is in many ways, and a
yeah.
couple people might kill me over that, but in
Well, except
terms
for
of their
Grenada.
actual combat doctrine, it's like that's what their whole goal is because you jump instead of being like the 7th where you bring your vehicles with you outside of maybe the Sheridan. If you're 82nd, you don't really have supporting vehicles outside of light trucks, Humvees, Mutts, that kind of thing.
Goats.
And so it's like all you're bringing is what you're wearing in your single rucksack that you're jumping with, your M1950 rifle case with your firearm or whatever
Yep.
weapon you have, and then however much ammo you can jam in that rucksack, and that's it.
Or you can be 82nd during Grenada and bring ridiculous amounts of ammo
Yeah.
for a fight that wasn't going to happen.
Yep. I mean, I get it. First big battle since the Vietnam War. You're a brand new private first class, 82nd Airborne. You just got your jump wings like a year ago, and you get called to Blue Ramp, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to war. There's an entire regiment of Cuban T-55s in the island. This might be World War III." You're like, "Holy crap!
I know, but I don't
I
understand
gotta
where
go pull ammo."
where did intelligence even get this whole battalion of 55?
From what I've heard, it wasn't intelligence. It's just like a rumor that went around, and it spread really fast.
Because I love them bringing dragons because it was like, between the 82nd bringing dragons and the Rangers firing a shitload of laws and Recoilless rifles at BTRs and missing every shot, but taking it out with a 40mm, is the funniest thing to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that's crazy.
The way I think it worked from the research I've done, I think the way it worked is that the Dragon teams on Grenada were more so attached from the division itself. Because if you look at the division Orbat, there were specific battalions that were nothing. Well, sorry, companies. No, they were battalions. There were battalions assigned to each brigade that were literally nothing but dedicated anti-tank battalions.
Yeah.
And so what I assume happened on Grenada is that those units were then attached to the companies and platoons as necessary, because most of the standard platoons just had laws, as many laws as they could carry.
And they brought
And
some
it's like,
flashes along too.
yeah, and then the flashes too. Kevin's point about a strict adherence to SOPs is honestly a good one. Another trope about the 80s. There are some exceptions, obviously, like the 2nd Infantry in Korea. The most wild ass setups I have ever seen in my entire life. Like,
Yeah.
there is no SOP there. Brett, it's like that meme with the guy from Blue's Clues, like, "My brother in Christ, this is Korea, you are going to die." But for the most part, yeah, SOPs were really strictly followed. Like, people don't understand, in the 82nd, most units, it's like you are wearing a bandage pouch on the left side of your belt with a bandage in it, and you are not doing anything else. That's just
Well,
the
yeah,
way it is. You are
it
not
makes
wearing an
sense too.
IFAK.
It makes perfect
Yeah,
sense. We did the same
yeah,
thing
exactly.
with tourniquets, where a tourniquet was supposed to be in your left, the pocket by your ankle, because that way everyone knows where your tourniquet is.
Mm-hmm.
That way you don't have any confusion. You're not looking for it. You just go in. I mean, we had IFAKs, but you don't have to rip the IFAK open and find it in there because that's always a mess. You just go to the, you can be able to grab it immediately and put it in the use. It makes perfect sense.
I
It
think the main
also,
reason, huh?
I was gonna say, it also doesn't. The army switched gears post Vietnam. They literally didn't see merit in the butt pack during the end of Vietnam. So they completely committed to the rucksack as the primary carrier. So that's also part of the reason why I think butt packs started to become less
Well, it also goes
of
in
a thing.
IFAKs too. It's like they had a platoon level aidman,
Yeah,
and that was it. Like, if you got shot, well, gee, you're just gonna wait for the medic from the platoon to come and grab you, and your buddy is just gonna grab your bandage and patch you up as best as he can. Like, the
yeah,
Marines are all about, you're going to have an entire medical kit on you so that if you get shot, your friend can come up and help you. Um, but I think the reason the 82nd didn't wear butt packs as well specifically is because of the rucksack.
yeah,
The whole idea was you're carrying your entire life in your rucksack. And so if you have a butt pack, you're impeding space for the rucksack to be worn.
yep,
Which is why Grenada was called the Rucksack War by Edgar F. Rains, because everybody had a rucksack.
yeah. It makes sense.
Um, I also just find them uncomfortable. That's a personal pet peeve.
Although, cut to the U.S. Army of the 2010s, where we trained with camelbacks and rucksacks. Not a good
Yep.
combination. Not a good combination.
The doctrine changes like every 20 years on the news. I swear to God.
I hated it. Every time you had to wear a rucksack, and they're like, "You have to wear your camelback." I'm like, Why can't I put my camelback in my rucksack? Because when I got to my unit, if we did rucksacks, that's what we did. You stick it in the top flap of your rucksack. You had the little drink tube coming out. Good to go. But at basic training, it was, oh, you got to wear your flick, then you got to wear your camelback, and then you got to wear your ruck. And it's like the camelback's this big object, you know, offsetting my ruck.
Well, the most annoying thing is the bandolier, because I don't know why the army didn't do this. I don't know why they didn't like put little tiny little cheap snaps on the top of the bandolier where the
Mm.
flaps are, just to keep the freaking thing closed. Like, okay, I get it. The bandolier is not meant to be a combat item. It's meant to bring ammunition, take the ammo out, and refill magazines. But like, even Turkey back in the 40s had a button on their bandolier so it wouldn't come undone.
Well, I got news for you. The Natick Labs did test the idea of a 30-round bandolier with snaps, or the little Alice plastic clippy things.
Whenabouts was that? When they did test that?
Late 70s.
Okay, yeah. Because
And then,
generally the bandoliers, you didn't carry mags in them.
yeah,
Like you would carry the 10-round super clips in this cardboard sleeves. Most people put mags in them. I understand for practicality reasons, but realistically, historically, you generally did not do that.
well, he's not in the 80s. Yeah, in Vietnam he definitely did, but by the 80s it was back to stripper clips.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, oh well, why would you need stripper clips? We're just going to give you ammo in our peacetime military.
Yeah, and the funny thing about the Natick Labs like little bandolier thing that didn't happen, it did happen, but it took another 20 years because that's the Mali bandolier,
Yeah,
which is never used ever because by the time that was introduced, you're already into the current system and there's no reason to wear that thing. So
it's like dudes in Grenada were fighting so light they didn't even bring sleeping pads with them.
yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you really don't see any sleeping pads on rucks because why carry a sleeping pad when you can carry more anti-tank? Like,
You can sleep on your law, you know.
oh gee, I could put a law here instead of my sleeping pad. I'll do that.
I feel bad for every single guy that was like, "Here's a dragon, you have to carry this." And it's like,
Yeah, the Dragon is a very unfortunate missile.
yeah. There's a reason why the Rangers didn't like it. That's why they kept the recoilless rifle.
I've said it before and I'll always say it again. The Rangers with the M67 on the island were arguably more effective, more combat effective than the 82nd with the Dragon, at least against like BRDMs and BMPs and stuff. It's like, sorry, BTRs, they weren't BMPs. It's like you're gonna put a round straight through that vehicle with an M67.
Yeah, and again, same thing with the Carl Gustaf. The advantage of the M67 or the Carl Gustaf, later replacing it, is it can carry. You can carry more ammo. You can carry different types of ammo. It's more effective against multiple targets, and that in itself makes it such a valuable weapon system.
Yeah,
I mean,
I do
it's
love
just
the law. I
the
love
law is great.
the law.
The law should never be retired. They should have kept the law. I don't. The law is the perfect all round disposable option.
And it's not even, you don't even need to use it for anti-tank. Like, you can use it as a general purpose destructive device if you need to hit a wall or something,
Well,
which is
yeah,
why
and
they
if you're
later
using it,
upgraded it.
if you're using it against an MBT, you're in a very bad situation.
Yeah, that's like a last resort weapon.
My dad said when you got the Reforger in '87, they were issued outlaws, and some of the infantry companies, they got the M113s with the Dragon launcher attachment, that
Uh-huh.
sits next to the 50. And he was like, he was supposed to be up there with the tanks because he was a tank turret repairman, so he's supposed to be not far from the tanks to fix anything. And he's like, what the hell am I gonna do with this law? Those guys got dragons. We're sitting over here with a law, but he's got the 50 cal on top, I guess. But
Yeah, the ability to be able to carry 2 or 3 laws per, like, maximum if you absolutely needed to. Like, fold a gap, we're going to war. I'm grabbing 3
yeah.
laws. Like, you can do that.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, they were issued like 2 or 3. So in the back of the M113, they had like 3 of them just sitting there.
yeah. Officially, the 82nd stance was to issue everybody 1. That did not happen.
Yeah.
Um, that did not happen. But that's like the official TONE for like a mechanized anti-armor squad is everybody gets a law.
I
And
still
at
would
least for
rather
my Grenada
use a tow.
officer's kit, I carry 2 frags, a law, a claymore, and then a bandolier.
No
That's the
smoke?
ordnance I carry, which is already heavy and uncomfortable as hell. But it's like that's ideally what you'd probably have.
Yeah.
And that's not in addition, obviously, to your 210 rounds of ammunition that you get just with your basic infantryman load, and then your 1911 as well.
Yeah, I don't envy those guys. Believe me.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, going back to butt packs again, instead of butt packs on Grenada, you just see guys like throwing shit in their pockets, like
Yeah.
a full ass sea rat can, just in a leg
Oh,
pocket.
that would suck. I'm not gonna lie. That would not
It's
feel
like,
good.
damn, who needs a rucksack or a butt pack? I mean, the army gave me these pockets. I'm going to use them.
Oh, yeah, but running around with stuff in your cargo pockets is like one of the worst
Oh
things
yeah,
in the
no,
world.
that's ass.
Because that's our dump. That's supposed to be your left cargo pocket by SLP is supposed to be your dump pouch.
For like magazines.
Yeah, it's not comfortable.
Yeah, no, I imagine.
When we used to do stuff like that, used to do the whole shoot and move shit. We would be like, all right, dump it. You dump it in there, and it's like after you're done, dude, that stuff is just banging against your leg and digging into you and stuff. It's like I said, it's the same thing with night vision where people always say, oh, night vision's so cool. I'm like, yeah, until you have to wear it for 6 hours and your neck feels like it's gonna explode. Like, yeah, it's cool until you have to do it. And we've talked about this on the server when I was on the server about like wearing the helmets and stuff, where like I forget who was talking about like the pack dip being uncomfortable or something along those lines. And I'm like, it doesn't get any better with the ACH. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the helmet. It's a big object sitting on top. Your head's not designed to hold weight. You know,
hmm
your
Yeah,
neck's
especially
designed to
no
hold your
no
own head.
counterweight is ridiculous. I cannot believe you weren't issued a counterweight.
Oh, counterweight.
Like
I didn't even
that's
know what that
insane.
was. Like I said,
And
I hated that the green circle on my eye for 40 minutes after trying to sleep was worse than my neck hurting
yeah, that
because you couldn't
sounds
sleep
terrible.
because you close your eyelid and you just see a green circle from the night vision. And it's like, oh, cool. I want to
I
look at this.
tried Joe's PVS 14 at Gettysburg and I was so disoriented. Like if I ever got NVGs as like a personal hobby, I'd just spend the money and get dual tubes.
Yeah, I got good with the PBS 14s and like maintaining my right eye's night vision and then having the PBS 14s in my left. Um, I actually was reasonably efficient on the range with it, but yeah, it takes a lot to get your brain around. And like I said, the just my problem was post wearing it, just trying to sleep if we went to bed quickly afterward, or even just walking around. The minute you flip those things off, your eyes just all messed up, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm like I don't like this. This isn't fun.
The biggest problem with purchasing an NVG for like practical shooting use, and if you're like a comp shooter or a hobby shooter, or you're like a tactical LARP dude, is the fact that you have to buy the helmet for it, the counterweight for it, the night vision, the
Yeah,
riser for your optic if you're going to shoot a rifle with it. You got to buy an IR laser and designator device for your rifle. It's
yep,
like it's not just IS funny tube. It's like you can buy a really expensive stargazing device if you want, but then you're gonna
yeah,
have to get, if you want to use it, you gotta get all the other crap that goes along with it.
yeah. And I had an ACOG, so I only used my PEC 15. That's all I had.
Yeah.
So it was just PEC 15, bring it up, pop it on, shoot, pop it off, bring it back down. That's just that's how we did it. Worst thing ever though was in Virginia when we were driving around in the dark because we did most of our ops at night at Fort Pickett, and we were driving around and my nods died,
Oof.
and I didn't have spare battery, so I was on the tow. I had my ITAS in front of me, and I had to do everything night op wise through the night sight on the tow, which was a
Good
pain in the
lord.
butt because I had to like spin the turret around everywhere just to see stuff, and that was not fun.
So Kevin, about thermals, one of the reasons that the Dragon was so beneficial on Grenada is that you had a thermal sight. At least the big one itself, you had the benefit of having a man portable thermal. And so that's
Yeah,
why
it
you see
makes
a
sense.
lot of the time just dudes using it as like a giant binocular system because
Well,
you have a
it's
thermal.
it's funny, same thing with the tow. We were when we were gonna go to Qatar for our peacekeeping operation or whatever the hell it was. Um, we weren't allowed to bring the launch tube, but we can bring the tow because you can use it as an observation device. Because that
Yeah.
night sight is so efficient. Or it means it's basically a flare. It's not really flare. It's like some hybrid system, but it's basically a flare. I
The
like we had the PAS 13s, the heavy night thermal sights that you'd put on 240s and 50s. Those are pretty nice. Heavy though. Yeah, lose you, you're reading.
Sorry, I just lost my internet for a second. I'm
Oh,
back.
okay. But yeah, we had the PAS 13s for 240s and M2s, and those were pretty nice. It was basically looking at a computer screen inside of a little tube.
Am I live?
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Okay, just want to make sure
I can
because you
hear you.
froze
Yeah.
for a second. I think the storm is messing with my Wi-Fi. No, the only real pictures of the airborne dragons we have in the Grenada are the guys with the night sights, which awful to have to carry. That's just misery. And then all the Marines are using the day sights. And that's not to say that the Marines didn't have night sights and the Army didn't have day sights and vice versa. It's just that the only pictures I've found thus far, after 3 years of research in Grenada as a hyper focus, have only been Marines with day sights, Army with night sights.
Yeah, I gotta figure. I don't understand how the night sight works on the Dragon.
It attaches to your day sight, from what I
See,
can
I've
understand.
seen that, but if you look at it, it doesn't look like it does. It looks like it's its own thing, but I don't know. There's not enough pictures of it close up that really give a good idea of what it does.
Yeah, honestly, because the whole sight itself, like the whole sight aperture, looks different too.
Yeah, it
So
looks very different.
I've heard that it attaches on, but I feel like it is just one big assembly that you carry.
I think it's one big assembly because it's the way if you look at the front of it, it doesn't look like the where you look through versus where because obviously the rightmost scope, I guess you can call it, is actually the tracker,
Yeah,
and then but on the TAS 4, it's the where you look through slightly to the left, and there's nothing where the day sight would be. So it's not like you would remove that and then attach. I don't. It just seems like it'd be overcomplicated to remove it just to, But I don't know. Dragon's not my specialty, so
I think one of the funniest thing about the Dragon is the fact that once you once the missile launches, it immediately the tube itself loses like all of its weight. So as a gunner, if you're not ready for that loss of weight, the entire missile can just fall forward and you lose your missile.
yeah, I can see that. I mean, the toe does the same thing. Drops down, or drops up and to the left when you fire. Because of that, you have to bring it back down. But you got six
Because
seconds to do that.
I mean, your sight is forward. Once your missile goes forward, all that weight is up front. And so
Yeah,
if you, because the way you're supposed to do it, you've seen it, you sit down, you put your feet up against the bipod, and if you aren't ready for that shift in weight, your entire tube can just kind of fall forward. Obviously,
and
your
then dump the
scope goes
missile.
down with it, you go down with it, and the wire just bites the thing into the ground.
Yeah. The Dragon's just weird because of the way they decided to guide the missile, and I know people that were good with it were accurate with it, but I just feel like the Dragon's too user dependent.
It's a vibe. It's just a terrible design.
Because
Like
I
I'm just gonna
wonder if
say, it's
the
a terrible missile.
oh, it's terrible. Yeah, I wonder if the whole sight being attached though is confusion with the toe because the toe's thermal sight from the earlier toe did attach to the top of the day sight. And I'm
Uh,
wondering if there's some sort of something going on with people's memories and thinking about things. I do see it too, where people say it attaches, but again, looking at it, I'm like, I don't know how that makes any sense. And according to the
yeah,
manual, it doesn't seem like it. It doesn't say anything in the manual where it says to attach it to the day site.
right.
But
Clipped it on.
yeah, so it's like I don't. I know, like I don't know. It's just it. The problem is getting your hands on a real one to see how it works. Would be
I gotta talk to a dragon gunner is what I gotta do.
yeah, and hope that their memory is good because you know
Honestly, yeah.
because the problem
Well,
is a lot of dragon
I met a
gunners
guy at
are
a
letting go
reenacting
toe.
event who said he was shooting dragons up through the 2000s.
Yeah, you're
He's a
saying that.
Marine. I
So
was
that's
like, wow.
possible only because the Marines didn't. They retired theirs after the Army didn't adopt Dragon 3, So the army just kind of like gave up on the dragon. So it's possible the
Yeah.
Marines could use it past that point, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I would not do that.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the javelin already being a thing by the late '90s, I don't see the.
Yeah, the javelin, even like the javelin has proven itself effective today
Yeah,
in a near pure, like the fact that it's still effective.
the fact that it's
Um,
an '80s development is what makes it crazier. They started the javelin program in the late '80s.
yeah, it's unbelievable.
Like that thing is insane. I never got a chance to use a javelin because we're a heavy weapons company. We've relied on the TOW, but the javelin is insane. I still would take a TOW over javelin any day, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I have a bias.
I do think that the benefit of the dragon is the speed in which it can be set up. Like if you watch the training films on how a two-man team is supposed to, like they can get
Oh yeah,
that crap up in like 20 seconds. It's ridiculous. Gunner drops down, deploys the bipod, front cap falls off. The assistant gunner pulls out the sight, clips it on, you're ready to shoot.
yep,
It's like 20 seconds tops. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
I mean, the only thing that beats that speed is the law. Um, and obviously, that's a smaller round. But
yeah. And your accuracy is going to suffer from a lot because it's not guided.
yeah, exactly. Just a point and shoot kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the thing with the law, but like the javelin beats the dragon out because the dragon had the issue that the TOW has, where it's sackless. You have to look at what you're destroying the entire
Mm.
time, and the dragon, the TOW is bad enough with how it fires in terms of report. The dragon is the worst thing in terms of report because it's literally making thousands of little, not thousands, but like hundreds of little explosions as it flies to the target. Doesn't take much
Yeah.
to figure out where it's coming from. Yeah, yeah, that is funny though to think about. I didn't even see that in the chat, but the thermals can't see through glass thing is kind
Yeah.
of funny to think about because that was something that we had to learn.
Yeah, everything has benefits and downsides, of course.
I still love thermals though, man. We never fired in the day sight in the TOW. Never used it. The thermal sight had digital zoom. You could zoom like 96 times if you wanted. It looked like crap, but you could do it.
That's wild.
Yeah, the TOW as an observation device is like, I mean, the LRAS, which is the actual long range reconnaissance device, is probably better, but I feel like the TOW is pretty close to the LRAS.
Well, I find it
But
really funny. We've come to the point where we just start using weaponry as observation devices. The
oh yeah,
sights on them are so good that they just use them as observation tools.
it beats out any binoculars you can carry. I mean, the only thing I got close to the TOW was our PAS 13, the Bs and the Cs. You could slap those.
God, I wish we could get a tow
But
mutt, man. That'd be so cool.
you're telling me I wish I could just get a TOW. If I can get pieces of a TOW, even a tripod, I would be fine with. But a tripod and a traversing unit and maybe a day sight, even if it's not working, even if it's gutted, I'd take it.
Yeah, I would love to make like a 1-to-1 mock-up of a tow and slap it on a mutt.
I would that's on my bucket list of eventualities if I can ever get around to it.
Although you'd have to buy a tow mutt specific, the
Yeah.
tow specific mutt too, because they moved the spare tire up to the right passenger side, and they had the mount for the tube, obviously,
Yeah, in the rack.
and also a cutout in the rear chassis, I believe, to make space for the gunners and everything else.
Yeah, it's the same with Humvees. You gotta buy a Humvee that's specific for the tow.
I
Or
think the
1067
recoilless rifle
Reaper.
M38s are really really cute.
There was one
It's
that
like a
was for
cute
sale
cute little
recently.
Jeep and then a big gigantic gun on it.
Yeah, it's got the cutout in the windshield.
Yeah, that's freaking cool, man. I love it.
Oh
What a
man.
cool vehicle.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna call it in the stream because it's almost 2 o'clock,
Yeah, it's late.
and I need to probably go to bed
Well,
soon.
if we want to talk more, we should just do a podcast episode.
I know. I know. The podcast right now is on hold because I keep running into the issue of time and no guests. But if we can get you on, I'll have you on again.
Makes sense. I get it. I'm just messing with you, but
It sounds like you're being very serious, and I'm very offended right now.
I'll be
And I'm
on
ready to
now.
go.
Now,
Yeah.
take me on again.
But yeah, no, we definitely should figure that out. I really need to get my butt in gear and make content, but
Have Eric on. You can talk anti-tank the entire time.
I should have.
Josh, y'all yapping so long. It's a new month.
I know, isn't it crazy?
Dude, is it really September 1st? Holy crap, 2 weeks to AX.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's insane.
All right, well, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, congrats on 1,000.
Yeah,
Now I
interesting.
got to tune into the 24-hour stream at 10,000.
Oh God, I'll do it. I'll do 24 hours at 10,000. If I get 10,000, I'll do it because that's worth it in my mind. But
I'll
thanks,
hold you
Josh.
to that then.
Yeah, you should remind me. Don't let me get too big from my bridges over here.
All right.
But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, thanks Logan. Thanks to G.I. Jones for stopping by. It's great to see him. It's good to see that he might be coming back. Great guy. Go follow him on Instagram.
Good combo.
Yeah, so I'm gonna end it here, and I don't know.
Good morning, I guess.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's true. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.